So like Street Fighter is like a side scroller, right? Fighter, right? That's what you call it.
Street Fighter would count as a fighting game, a 2D fighting game.
Yeah, but it's 2D because it just side profile.
Yeah, it's I mean, like there's fighting games that are in 3D.
Yeah,
as well. Like probably the
what's Red Dead Redemption?
That's a third person behind the back fighting game.
Okay.
A third person behind the back fighting game is For Your Honor. That's an actual third person behind your back.
Or God Hand.
Or God. It's God Hand. God Hand.
Don't think too hard about it.
God Hand is character action.
I don't understand any of this.
You're fighting everything.
So what the fuck is an RPG?
You're just fighting.
It's like
I'm here to deconstruct the genres.
Like Baldur's Gate 3 would be an RPG.
Forget your labels.
Your Final
Fantasy. You actually talk like that?
You just keep saying the same fucking game, dude.
Have you played Mass Effect?
No.
Like back in the day, did you play any Final Fantasies like a Chrono Trigger or Super Mario RPG or
no
anything that
Did you ever play
RPG?
a game where you had to take turns hitting each other?
Take turns?
Like there's like a menu. The menu says fight, use attack, hit for 30 points. Then the enemy goes, I will also attack. I'll hit you for 10. Okay.
No.
So you never played an RPG before then?
No,
essentially.
I guess not.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, because the closest to like an RPG that I think you might have played would have been Mass Effect, because that's more of like a shooter combined with an RPG.
What is Fallout an RPG?
Yes, Fallout games are considered Western RPGs. So that is an RPG. Because it's more of in like the Western style. Western RPGs tend to have more of a morality system. They tend to combine mechanics from other genres more often. In the case of Fallout, shooting mechanics. Westerners love shooting. So many Western RPGs.
Telltale games.
I think the Telltale games are more of a choose your own adventure story game. Like it's like they're not really RPGs because you can't like customize your character really in any way.
By the way, I you guys missed this, but I fell before we started recording. I fell.
Oh, you fell?
Yeah.
You fell
out?
Are
you okay?
Not fell. I literally fell on my back.
Oh my god!
You fell on your back. Are you
okay? You had a fallout on your back.
You keep repeating me, Sarah. Like you don't believe me, but I fell.
And I don't. That's crazy.
I went to the store, but before I went to the store, I lowered the seat to see how low my seat would go. It's a new seat, right? It's just a stool. It's got no back on it.
Okay,
I had to know.
Yeah, so I lowered it, and I was like, "Oh, it goes pretty low." All right, I walked away, went to the store, came back, got my soda, put it in the fridge. I was doing some stuff on my desk, and then I went to sit down. I forgot I lowered it because when it's at its height, I'm right here. I'm standing, and I'm on the seat.
Oh no!
I missed the seat completely. Went past it and fell on the floor.
Oh no!
Yeah.
So your back is broken now.
Probably. I have to go to Istanbul to get it fucking fixed by Einstein.
Yeah, you need Einstein to. To punch your vertebrae back.
Your back, and then
that's exactly what that's what he sounded like in Oppenheimer. Yeah, when he came out from behind the police car. You gotta make a nuke.
Yeah.
So they won't respect you until you make a nuke.
Everybody loves Einstein.
Hey, it's me, Einstein.
Yeah. Nobody respected me. Only my brother Raymond.
Equals MC squared. That's me.
My mom loves
you're
my
kind
brother.
of approaching the voice that Animaniacs gave him. He said, "Stupid Einstein, dummy boy."
Okay. Well, this is the last episode of
The Last of Us. What's The Last of Us? Is that an RPG?
Last of Us is kind of an RPG, actually. Yeah. I'm not even joking.
RPG can be very broad if you allow it to be.
Yeah. It's more of like a cover shooter, but it has RPG mechanics sort of built in. Because there's progression and whatnot.
Yeah, to me, RPG means less than like other more specific subgenres, like a JRPG or you said, a Western RPG or a CRPG.
What about Uncharted?
No, that's just like a adventure shooter game.
It's an action game.
Yeah.
Tomb Raider adventure shooter game.
Yeah. Actually, now that I think about it, Last of Us is just an adventure shooter game. It just has a progression tree. So that does not make it really an RPG at all, really. Yeah.
What about Sea of Thieves?
Well, I'd sooner say action than adventure, because adventure implies the clicky stuff.
Sea of Thieves is like a basic open world game.
That was a good game when it first came out.
Was it?
Man, I would get so high and sail the seas. One time I was sailing with my coworker, our ex-coworker Marcel, and we went into a storm, and the lightning hit the whatever the mast is, and it shot me into the water. Like that's how like strong the thing was. And then but I was high, so I didn't know what was happening.
The number one complaint I heard about Sea of Thieves is that there is literally no objective.
Not enough sea shanties.
I heard you just kind of are just there.
Valid complaint.
You're in the sea with other thieves.
People singing.
Well, I mean, it is just a Sea of Thieves. They promise nothing more.
Nothing else.
It's not a sea of adventure.
They don't even promise treasure.
It's just thieves starving for treasure. They're just like, come on.
It's like they always say, no things among thieves.
Nothing among thieves.
Nothing at all among thieves. Except the sea.
Yeah. All right. Whoa, Ricardo just gave. Nobody saw it, but he gave like a very disgusted
I feel like
expression.
I'm getting tight. You know what I mean?
Oh, is it because of the fallout on your back?
No, dude. I think it's because it fucking fell, dude.
The way you were building up to describing what Ricardo did, the way you were building up to that made me think like he just like did a horrible salute.
Nobody saw the salute that Ricardo just made. But
oh wow, so horrible.
Yeah. Completely incompetent. I have to admit another mistake. Welcome back to Marvin Makes a Mistake every week.
It's redactions every single time now. You just
I forgot to do the Timescape Discord rating last week.
Oh my god.
That's my fault.
I need to get better at reminding you.
You had one job.
I know, I had the one job. This week...
Literally, this is your job, dude.
The Timescape. Literally. So, there's a very, very, very helpful Discord member named Imagine Nathan who does analytics on the polls. So,
oh, wow.
Are you sure this guy's real?
No one knows for sure. We're on the internet. So, apparently...
What if it's a bot?
He'd be a really good bot because he's very communicative. Really? But basically the average was an 8.39 with the median being a 9. That was for Timescape, the episode where it was timey-wimey and everyone was trapped in a time bubble.
That's pretty
the stop go freeze.
Yeah, the stop ghost. So yeah, that's actually what I gave it. So cool. I gave it a median of a 9. And yeah, hooray. Also,
it was a good one.
But this week, we didn't watch Timescape. We watched In the Hands of the Prophets, which is, our first...
It's a season finale, but pretty modest for one.
Yeah, that's the interesting part. So originally, the season finale of Deep Space Nine for season 1 was supposed to be kind of a redo of Emissary, the ending of Emissary, where there's a huge space battle with the Cardassians, except the TNG crew was going to come in and help. So it was going to be like a huge crossover where they're like, the Cardassians are attacking again, we need help. And then Picard goes, I'm coming. And he came.
That could have been pretty cool.
Yeah, but apparently, apparently the producer Rick Berman did not like that idea because but Michael Piller still did want to connect it to the first episode in some capacity. Hence, we got.
Man, this makes me just want to watch BSG again.
So, are we talking connected to the first episode of Deep Space Nine, like with the whole orb thing, I guess.
Well, yeah, with the the whole thing that he's an emissary, just out of nowhere, suddenly he's the emissary again.
Can you remind me what that even means again? Like,
I don't. You guys are babbling incoherently, dude.
Like, what does that mean?
Okay,
like, is he like a cardinal? Is he like a priest? Is he?
He's basically like a Jesus.
Is he a special mention?
He's like a Jesus.
He's like a Jesus.
Kind of
like a Jesus.
Yeah, because
they don't really listen to him for being like a Jesus.
Just like in real life. So
okay. All right, point taken.
But basically, he's considered special because he was the first to enter the Temple of the Prophets, which is what they call the wormhole. Yeah. So
okay, he didn't like have that plan.
Wait, before him, no one had entered the hole?
No. Yeah, he discovered it.
Really?
So they didn't even know the wormhole was there. They just assumed that they always said the Temple of the Prophets is somewhere in the sky.
He popped its cherry?
Basically, yeah. And it's in a weird space where the prophets...
that was a little crude, dude. Deflowered the whole...
the prophets are based on what we now must assume is Bajorans had once come into contact with the aliens in the wormhole. And because the aliens in the wormhole don't view time linearly, like they view all of time all at once.
Oh, kind of like
right. I forgot about that.
Like Interstellar.
Yeah, sort of. But it's because of that,
like that kind of.
Yes, it's exactly
like that kind of.
Yeah, it's exactly as awful.
You don't like anything good, Marvin. That's what I realized.
No,
I'm keeping a diary of all the movies you hate.
I just have really good taste. Like, that's all.
One day, dude, I'm gonna throw the diary in your face, dude.
Yeah, and I'm gonna be like, yeah, this is all correct because I don't like garbage. But basically, because they viewed time all at once, they seemed like they were prophets, like they could see everything. They could predict the future, essentially. And Bajorans, I guess very long ago, had encountered the aliens, didn't know where they came from, and thus they became their gods. I imagine in kind of the same way that Picard became a god to the Proto-Vulcans in the Who Watches the Watchers episode. Just because they were flabbergasted by the amount of technology the aliens had. Why do we make people gods
for things like we don't understand or can't explain? Like,
because that's how dummies think. No, that's really mean. It's just people who don't know any better.
So.
That's a very hard question to answer, Sarah. You can't just throw that out there.
I mean, it's just like the people always look for an explanation, and if you don't currently have the means to explore the answers, you come up with...
But they do have the answers here. It's science and facts.
But this is coming... We're basically at the Inquisition part of... the Bajorans' culture cycle, basically, like you said, Jake says in the episode, he's like, didn't you know Galileo was persecuted for thinking the sun was at the center of the solar system, and he got persecuted for this. Is the exact same thing. The church does not want, and the thing is, even in the context of Bajorans,
I think it's the age-old question of separation of church and state. We're still talking about it. This
right, but even in the context of the Bajorans, Vedek Winn is a minority opinion. She's an extremist. The majority of the religious Bajorans don't think that way. To the point where that other guy who's the front runner, he's like, I don't do the ear squeezing thing. That's really bad.
But they still have religion. I mean, he's still like a pope-like figure. They still have these religious
the thing
figures.
About the Pope now, he's really cool and he hates Trump and stuff like that.
I don't know if I'd describe it as
cooler.
Cool. He's not cool. He's definitely not cool.
Than
he doesn't even believe in gay marriage.
He's a White Sox fan. He's a White Sox fan.
I mean,
I would not describe the Pope as cool.
I mean, there's a difference between cooler and he's a cool guy. I mean, he's also said some other weird stuff.
Why is he a cool person?
Here's the thing. Everything's silly. Everything that's not science is silly. If you really think about it, think about. I'm not to shit on this again, Sarah. But think about crystals. That's silly as shit, dude. But it's
but crystals come from the earth. I appreciate a nice rock. Oh my God. I'm not trying to say that it has those kind of powers, but it's beautiful. Diamonds are beautiful.
I bet they are.
Quartz are beautiful. They are. Yeah. They sure are.
But I'm just saying, you can believe in anything you want. Really, you can believe that you can talk to your pets, and you can believe that somebody talks to a burning bush. You could talk to somebody. So it's relative to what you want to believe. I like this episode a lot. You posed a question earlier, Marvin.
I did.
Yesterday. You said, what's your favorite episode of the season?
Oh, right.
You were just talking about
told us to think about.
You just referenced an episode we watched last week, and I don't remember it. So I don't know what the fuck happened this season, dude. Oh, so here's what I'll say. The thing that stuck out, and I'm going to pick it now as my favorite episode of the season, just because it's fresh in my mind, and I remember it, and I thought of it earlier today. Because One thing I gave me is like, I won't cheat. I'm not going to go look at the episodes to remind myself. I have to like,
that's not cheating.
It has to be in me, right?
Why is that cheating?
Why would that be cheating?
I feel like make it more accurate.
If I don't remember it, they're not memorable then. And
that's not true. If you don't remember it just because you were high.
Yeah. Like for you especially, that's a horrible metric.
The one thing I remember,
it's like, oh, I forgot my mom's birthday. Oh, she's not important.
Well, she's dead, dude. So she's not going to celebrate birthdays, dude.
You just don't remember the birthday.
There's no need to remember the birthday. What? There was no need to remember when she was alive. Why remember it now? Here's the thing. The one episode that made me see a character that I didn't like in a different way, and I learned something about a new character, was the one with Loxana. And that's the one I'm going to pick as my favorite episode.
That's your favorite episode?
Just because I hated her, dude. Every episode that she was in, I was like, hopefully like the world ends and we don't have to record this fucking stupid episode. Because this is, and then this comes along and she teaches me about fucking Odo in this liquid form, and she takes him in her body, body of Christ.
Not in her body. Just,
he's
in my imagination, she drank him. And
he's misremembering. Yeah.
They gave us the save for work version, but in my mind, she's like, Odo, come in me. I mean, be in me, and then I'll spit you out later.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So we have a budding /fic writer. On our podcast.
Yeah. Well, Ricardo's rewrite of that episode is that in order to protect himself, Odo entered Loxana's vag.
No, I didn't say her. I said her mouth. Dude.
That's what you said. Entered her vag.
I didn't say that at all, dude. I said her mouth.
This is a terrible game of telephone. A terrible game of Gellophone.
And that's what I'm going to say.
Purple Monkey Dishwasher.
And this one was not bad, especially because it felt a lot. This episode felt a lot like. Have you guys seen In the Line of Fire? With Clint Eastwood?
No, I don't remember.
Where he has to protect the president, and he's like, "No."
Oh yeah, that's same thing. A lot of movies do that. Yeah.
Back into the left, dude.
Fucking Austin Powers does that.
Yeah. Well, your dive wasn't bad, but I didn't believe you. No.
But In the Hands of the Prophets, it first aired on June 20th of 1993, which is about 6 days after the last episode of Duet. Or not Duet. Oh yeah, it was 1 week. So yeah, let's head in. What was the last episode?
The 13th.
It was. But what was the episode again? It was
Duet.
Timescape.
But like the last episode of DS9 was.
Last episode was it was Duet. Yes. Okay, but yeah.
What was Duets again? What was Duets?
Duet was the War Crimes episode where the guy was
we have to remind everyone what the most important episode is. 2 episodes in a row. Everyone hates us.
This is going to be really bad for Deep Space Nine because it's a very serialized show after a certain point.
Wait, the War Crimes. What War Crime?
It's all right, Ricardo.
There was that guy who showed up in plastic surgery to be like, I'm the Nazi.
Oh, yes. The very complicated.
And it wasn't the guy, right? He was a different guy.
Yeah.
Everyone forgets.
He was the
second week in a row everyone forgot.
This is not a bit.
No, it's not. That's the unfortunate part. Oh God, we need to enter the prophets. Save us.
Go. Okay, so through the wormhole, 1 week has passed. On the 14th of June, Bill Clinton submitted Ruth Bader Ginsburg as his Supreme Court nominee.
Oh, hell yeah.
What a time. On the 18th of June, the series finale of Harry and the Hendersons aired, and I think it was about helping Harry move into a cave with his girlfriend or something, which was very different from that John Lithgow, like, we don't want you anymore kind of scene. Because that's a movie, and Harry and the Hendersons was a sitcom based on the movie.
Oh, really? There was a movie?
Yep.
Yeah,
the movie is actually good.
Is this like a Conehead situation where there was a movie and then they made a show, and also a Honey, I Shrunk the Kids situation where there was a movie and then a show?
You know what's funny?
Wasn't Coneheads an SNL thing?
I think, without looking, before I look into it, I think the dad of Harry and the Hendersons TV show was the neighbor from Honey, I Shrunk the Kids.
Oh, okay.
Maybe
that's possible.
I don't remember so well.
It was a small comedy world back then. You know, a lot of comedy people just.
I'm waiting on Ricardo to confirm his suspicion.
Oh no, sorry. The dad from the TV show Harry and the Hendersons was Bruce Davison from from X-Men. He plays the senator in the first X-Men.
Oh, he's Senator Kelly.
Oh,
yeah. Okay.
He's Mystique eventually takes over. Okay,
mm-hmm. He's the blob man.
Yeah.
Well, the thing that I remember most about Harry and the Hendersons, the sitcom, is that like the theme song reminded me of Mr. Belvedere's theme song, and they would mix up in my head. And there's a reason for that. Leon Redbone, the singer, sang both of the songs. So in my head, it would always go, "Your feet's too big," or like this.
I've never heard the theme song, so
okay.
That being the first line is
Mr. Belvedere went like streaks on the china, never mattered before. Who cares?
Okay.
And
Mr. Belvedere's theme song is a fucking banger, dude.
It is actually.
It's a fucking banger. Dude.
It is actually.
Shows don't do theme songs anymore. That's the thing.
Yeah, they need to come back. Magnum PI is still like the best intro ever.
Look. Here's the thing. Mr. Belvedere's song is so good because it starts off with it's like the pianos, and it's very like classical.
Yeah,
right.
And then it goes.
And it gets fucking
and the horns start up
and silly, dude. Yeah,
the farts start.
But to me,
what?
Oh my
god, I never heard it, so I don't know.
To me, the best fucking theme song, Knight Rider.
It's pretty good.
It's okay.
Yeah.
It's okay.
It works. Yeah. But I feel like Magnum PI really just gets you pumped immediately.
Magnum PI is better than the show, the theme song, by far.
Yeah. It's hard to beat that theme song.
Yeah.
It's a tough act to follow.
You can just watch the intro and go, you're good.
What show could live up to that?
I mean, I feel like Fresh Prince of Bel-Air lived up to the theme song. I mean, it's the same fun.
I guess so.
Like it didn't go beyond the show. You know what I mean? It didn't go beyond its britches like the Magnum PI.
I will admit though that I don't know how long ago it was now, but more recently, in recent years, I'd seen an episode or two of Fresh Prince, and Will's behavior didn't age so well.
No, no,
of course not.
Not at all.
There's many scenes where he essentially wants to rape a girl.
So, yeah, lots of potential essay happening.
Oh yeah, not potential.
Yeah, if not actual.
There's literally an episode where he marries a girl, tricks her into thinking she has married him so he could fuck her.
Among other things.
It's fucking crazy.
Lots of things happen to that show.
Yeah.
Okay, moving on. Into the realm of movies.
We wouldn't be here watching Mr. Belvedere if it wasn't for Fresh Prince, dude. You know what I'm saying?
Wasn't Mr. Belvedere before?
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, dude. Yeah. Wait, what?
Yeah, what year? What? It was early 90s or late 90s?
Belvedere ended in 89.
Sorry,
and Fresh Prince was I think 90, 91?
I think it ended in 96. So, yeah. It's,
all right.
Yeah.
All right. Into the realm of movies, we had Once Upon a Forest, a Hanna-Barbera production that looked kind of like Secret of NIMH. It was another one of those rodent adventure movies.
Oh, okay.
But also, Last Action Hero.
Once Upon a Forest. Is that the one where there is poison gas going through the forest and it kills the mice?
It's the one where
I don't know.
Rick Dalton is
okay, I'm going to look that up while you continue.
Anyway, what did you say about another movie? A movie?
The last movie was Last Action Hero.
It is the one. Okay. Okay. Sorry. Okay. You actually helped me out a lot. I saw this on vacation when I was a child on television. I didn't see the title though.
Locked in a memory for you?
Okay. And the scene where a poison gas truck gets in an accident and kills the family.
Oh shit.
Has always stuck with me as a kid because I was like, he's coming back, right? No, he's dead. It killed a bunch of people or a bunch of animals. So I was
that was one I didn't see.
What fucking movie was this? I never knew. And for a long time I thought it was Secret of NIMH, and it's not. And then so I was like, well, then what the fuck was this movie where these animals died in a gas thing?
That's
to the point, and then it was weird because while they're dying, they're floating in the gas. It's weird. It makes them weightless. And I was like, what the fuck is this movie? And now I know. All right. Thank you.
Well, great. I'm glad to have done that for you.
Once Upon a Forest. Okay. All right.
Perfect.
Yes.
What was the second movie you mentioned?
Last Action Hero.
Oh, that was a banger, dude.
Yeah, that was a banger.
It wasn't so successful at the time.
I don't know
but it has since garnered a cult following. It was directed by John McTiernan, who previously did Medicine Man.
Written by Shane Black.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, actually. Or rather, he helped the script after it was already done.
Yes. I think Zach Penn Pun intended. He penned the first draft.
Apparently, a ton of writers touched it, including other script doctors like Carrie Fisher.
Yeah,
I think part of it is because I think it was I think what had happened is that they were like, "Oh, Arnold's like getting like cornier." They're like being like, he's like becoming cornier and like more Little did they know he would get even more comedy.
This was time went on. This was pre True Lies.
Yes,
right, and this was pre Jingle All the Way.
Yeah,
yes, yeah.
This was like hot off the heels off of Terminator 2, though.
Yes.
Yeah, what's so funny is I was listening to an interview with Zach Penn about screenwriting, and he talked about how his hero is Shane Black, because Lethal Weapon and stuff like that, and he's like, and this, I think this was his first sale. And he said that he's like, what a coincidence that I got fired and replaced by my hero.
That's funny.
It's interesting.
Yeah, but yeah, I really like this movie. I remember it not being what I thought it was going to be.
Yeah, it was the same for me.
Yeah, because it came at the heels of T2, and I was just in a different. T2 was.
I think that's why.
A 10,
I think
you know what I mean.
Yeah, I think what had happened is people expected cool, badass, always cool Arnold, and Last Action Hero is not that. It's like a deconstruction of that.
But as not only that, but also it made you look at it through the point of view of the sidekick kid, which isn't what people wanted.
Yes,
and so I think also. I think I was the right age for it. Like I was a kid and like it just worked for me because I was like, oh, it was an action movie for kids, really. Even though it was
it's kind of a
lot of jokes that went right over my head though. It's like there's always a ninja like waiting to assassinate me in my own apartment. Like that's funnier to me now than it was when I saw it in the theater as a kid.
You're right.
And this was a transition movie. After this, when he got cornier, people were like, "Oh, okay, we get it now. We get what he's doing. It's cool, like with Kindergarten Cop and all the movies he made after that."
Yeah, that aspect of Arnold's persona hadn't been established yet.
Yeah. It was a transitional movie, and it took a while.
Mm-hmm.
So there's so many good things in it. Death is played by Ian McKellen.
Oh, I forgot that he was in there.
Charles Dance is in it, and he plays a great fucking bad guy. So does Tom Noonan plays the Ripper. I like
random Danny DeVito in there.
So. Yeah.
Oh yeah, even as a crazy cameo.
Cartoon. Yeah. Chevy Chase as himself.
Even the T-1000 himself, Robert Patrick. As a cameo. Just dressed up as a cop, he's just doing his T-1000 thing for like.
Well, isn't it the scene where they go to the video store and he's coming out of the video store dressed as a cop?
Oh, I forget exactly the circumstances, but
it's funny because they go in.
That'll be good.
And the T2 cover is the poster is at the video store, but it's Stallone.
I know. I always thought that was a really good joke. Yeah. Because they fucking hated each other at the time.
There's fun to that movie. It's a better movie than people gave it credit for at the time. So
yeah.
However, it only got number 2 spot at the box office because Jurassic Park was still owning it for everybody.
And it's also really hard to compete against Jurassic Park.
Hold on to your butts. However, on the day of airing, 6/20, Michael Jordan and the Chicago Bulls won their 3rd consecutive NBA title, the first team to three-peat since the Celtics in the 60s, and I think that's what my house was watching instead of Star Trek.
I mean, I think it's part of why it's the first season finale kind of bombed. It aired in the same night Michael Jordan was playing.
So if you look at the ratings of the time, you might, see some predictable trends there.
Yeah. So there you go. Well, thank you, Dan, for taking us into the hands of the prophets.
I do want to say, you guys mentioned Harry and the Hendersons. Mm-hmm. The Harry is played by the same guy who played Predator, by the way.
Apparently, they had to go through a few different actors. I think I saw.
Well, for the first 16 episodes, because then he passed away, and then they had to go through a couple different actors.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Did they then replace him with Jean-Claude Van Damme?
No, that'd be funny. He just got really short in the second season.
All right. Well, let's do our sponsors really quick. The first of which, Extra. Hey, I want to talk about them because they sent us their new Wallet Pro, which is the upgraded version of what they used to call their Parliament wallet.
What?
I'm going to be honest. It's a really nice wallet. It's very good. I've been enjoying using it. However, I don't think you need to get it if you just want the cheaper Parliament wallet, which they're now just calling the extra wallet. So personally, if you want the upgrade, which is nice, like they have the metal button, that's nice. I think the biggest upgrade for me, I enjoy the most, because I stuff my wallet with cards. So if you do that,
why? Why?
I just carry a lot of cards.
Oh, I thought you meant like to make your butt lumpy or something.
No, I just have a lot of cards that I like to keep on my person. But because of that, if you have the Parliament wallet, the front leather flap part doesn't close as well. But this version, they realized a lot of people were doing that, like me, I do. So it closes very flat now, even when it's fully filled with cards. So that's nice. And the mechanism also holds a metal card. Like I have a metal credit card, and it doesn't like slide out super easily anymore. It was never like a huge issue, which is why I don't think it's a big issue for the regular extra wallet either. But it's really nice. I like it. So that's like my really quick review on the extra the Wallet Pro. Mm-hmm. But I will say what you should do is head on over to ekster.com. That's ekster.com and look around. Honestly, I think if you're looking for a good wallet there, I think you either just get the extra wallet or go for the Cardholder Pro. I think the Cardholder Pro was legitimately much better than the regular cardholder. And I think one weird reason for that is that one of the corners is rounded. So it doesn't like kind of cut into your pocket like it did before the other one did. But this one, the rounded corner actually makes a big difference. It's way more comfortable. But yeah, I would just go around, check it out. They sell other things too. They have the Grid backpack, the Grid duffel backpack, the Weekend bag. They have keychains and key holders and all that. And if you see anything you like, just when you check out, use our offer code Newbie, NEWBIE, and that'll get you an additional 10% discount off of any order site-wide. And we say additional because that stacks with any ongoing sales, which, hey, by the way, they're about to have their Father's Day sale. You know, sometimes papas like wallets. If you think your papa might like a nice compact wallet, like Definitely. I gave my dad an extra wallet. He liked it.
If you've been listening to us for over a year and you missed out on the sale from last year, this is your chance. You have only one more chance. This definitely will never happen again.
No, your father will disown you if you forget to give.
He remembered last year.
Yeah, he remembered.
You're
he was
on
close.
notice now.
He was close. Yeah. He said, no extra wallet, shame on you. No extra wallet again, shame on me. And then he's gone.
And you.
But yeah, again, head on over to ekster.com and use our offer code Newbie when you check out for an additional 10% off any order site-wide. And you know what? It's free shipping, free returns within 100 days of receiving your order, and a 24-month warranty, at least on all products. The Pro wallets, the card holder, and the Ekster Wallet Pro, those are lifetime warranties. So that's pretty good. So yeah. Next, ExpressVPN. Because you know what? Sometimes you don't want to raw dog the internet too closely. Sometimes you just want to
raw dog it from a distance.
Yeah, maybe the distance is like, I want to raw dog it from Spain. Well, you can do that using ExpressVPN. You know what I mean? You know, you can head on over to a different country. Let's say you want to watch some Spanish television or something. Head over there.
Taking some liberties with raw, but you know.
Well, here's the thing. Sometimes you want to watch sports.
Oh yeah,
and where you live and the contracts, they're like, you can't watch that sport. You know that team you like, can't watch the fucking game. Go get the fuck out of here. Pay us $150 a month, and you're like, I don't want to do that.
No,
you could geo hop and maybe
you
watch
need to know
it
which
in a different
country is best, Mexico or Portugal.
Yeah, and you can watch a baseball game from another country.
I think I don't remember where I saw it, but there was a poll recently on what is the most common thing people get a VPN for. Number one was sports, because especially in America,
that makes sense.
Because they have blackout days everywhere. The second was, I think this was an American poll. The second was, my state doesn't allow porn.
Oh, yeah.
Also makes total sense. Those are exactly how I would expect those things to be.
Yeah. They gotta make a VPN in like the moon. That way, like, it's like international law.
Moon base, you know?
Yeah, it's like that.
It would be kind of sick if like one of the VPN's servers was in like Antarctica. And it's like, what are you gonna do? I'm in Antarctica. There's no loss.
It's just on a boat, just sitting out there in the middle of the ocean.
There's a server floating up. Floating on a cargo ship.
The ocean has, you can, I mean, that's like open law, right?
Yeah, you can have monkey knife fights. Yeah, just you can have monkey knife fights out in the open.
But you have to talk like this. There'd be
Captain Hook. Won't you throw the book at the pirate?
That show had too many good songs. There was too many good songs in that show. Like Mother Boy. Oh man, yes. Mother Boy is so good.
Yes, it is.
Well, if you want to get ExpressVPN and see if you can catch, I think Arrested Development is available worldwide because they bought it.
Netflix? Yeah.
All right. That makes sense.
Here's the thing. God damn it, dude. Here we go. I pay for, just off the top of my head, I want to say it's like 5 streaming services, right?
Oh my God.
Wow.
That's
4 to 5,
crazy.
right?
That's a lot.
Gotta stay on top of it.
Yeah. I should now be able to stream, for the amount of money I'm paying for those 4.
Yeah.
I should be able to stream any fucking movie, any show in the fucking world, dude.
You're basically paying more than you ever did for cable at that
point
with 5 streaming services.
Exactly. So if I can't find it in the US, I'm going to geo-hop to one of the services I do have has it in another country. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And there are websites online that'll let you know where available to stream, which country. Thing.
Allegedly.
Yeah, because the license contracts do differ from country to country, which is why we're bringing all this up.
Yeah.
Allegedly. You go to a website called Where to Stream. Allegedly is what I heard is the thing to do.
Yeah.
Is Star Trek currently in any shape or form on Netflix? Does it remain off Netflix?
No.
So it is
only a few years ago.
But it is at the great people at Paramount have put it on the servers and they're streaming it there. You can go check it out there. And they have every season of every show.
Yeah. So it's on Paramount Plus. But I think if you're outside of the United States, you still can't see it on Paramount Plus. I think what you need to do is then have Paramount Plus and then geo-hop to America. Then it'll show up. So, because there's
you got to play the Neil Diamond song though. We're coming to America.
Yeah, there's all sorts of, you can see, but this is one of the benefits of a VPN. But ExpressVPN in particular comes with some other benefits. It's also super fast, like the name would suggest. Yeah. It's also historically been very super secure because governments have subpoenaed ExpressVPN and seen, we want to check up on this guy.
They're like, let's eat your peanuts.
Yeah, and they're like, we don't have anything because they don't keep any connection logs, no activity logs,
not even LinkedIn logs. When they take your shit, it's diarrhea. No logs.
And all of the servers run on volatile memory, which means unless they come in,
they have faulty fucking memories.
Almost unless they come in with a bucket of what is the thing in the Terminator 2?
A bucket of cream and 2 mice.
The other movie
into butter,
where the
liquid nitrogen.
Liquid nitrogen, yes.
Yeah.
So unless you come in with a bucket
into a bucket full of liquid nitrogen, turn into ice.
So unless you pour a bucket of liquid nitrogen with mice in them on top of the computer before you turn it off, it'll just wipe away everything in 30 seconds. So
gone in 30 seconds is our motto.
Yeah. But also, if you sign up for 2 years, not only will you get
Earth
4
years,
months,
by the way.
Yeah, you'll get 4 months for free, but also you're going to get the entire Identity Defender suite, which includes the advanced protections, which are like ad blockers, tracker blockers, etc., ID alerts, ID theft insurance, credit scanner, and a data removal service, kind of like Delete Me or Incogni or whatever. But it comes for free with that plan.
Gratis
so if you head on over to expressvpn.com/newbie Star Trek. If you sign up for 2 years, you'll get the 4 months for free, plus that Identity Defender suite. And if you're not sure, there's always a 30-day money-back guarantee. So you can try it out and send it back if you don't like it. So again, expressvpn.com/newbie Star Trek. Sign up for 2 years, get 4 months for free.
Ricardo, could you please tell us what happened in this episode?
She cut in real fast there.
Dude, low key, you know what service has a lot of stuff? 2 services. Pluto TV.
Oh yeah.
Which is free. It just has ads, just like watching TV. You know.
The original series is available on Pluto entirely. Yeah.
Star Trek. You could find Gilligan's Island on there. It's fucking crazy.
Yeah, your favorite. You fucking love Gilligan's Island.
I love Gilligan's Island, dude.
You fucking love it.
Because they never get out of there, dude. 2.
Wait. At the end, is there a series finale where they escape?
I'm not gonna tell you, dude.
I'm gonna look it up.
I love how in the first season it was like the movie star and the rest, and there's only 2 people.
Yeah. It's like, just finish it off, dude. Eventually they did it. They're like Professor and Marianne.
Oh my God. The castaways of Gilligan's Island never escape the island.
Well,
that's really sad, actually.
That would have been crazy if in
Dinosaurs
Lost,
ended with everyone dying.
You know what's so funny?
Freezing and extinction.
Is if the end of Lost was the last episode that never aired of Gilligan's Island. Like they go to the other side of the island in Lost and they meet the crew from Gilligan's Island. That'd have been great, dude.
That would be
Turns out they're in the same island all along. And then the Globetrotters were there and they left.
Yeah.
That would have been such a reveal if they had actually cast an older version of all the Gilligan's Island people.
That would have been cool, actually.
Bob Denver. Some of them are still alive.
This place has been getting weirder and weirder, guys.
Yeah. There's a guy with a Gilligan's Island hat. And it turns out it's Gilligan. All right. I was going to say, so Pluto TV and Tubi have a lot of free content. It's just, ad-based, but it's great. I think so. Methinks. Okay, this episode is very simple. Very simple.
Not really. It's actually very complex.
I mean, just because it's one storyline.
Yeah.
It is a singular big issue.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Here's the thing about this episode.
Philosophical.
It starts off and fucking Miles O'Brien and Keiko are eating fucking Mexican candy, dude.
Yeah.
Seems like it.
They are eating a really big tamarindo. That's what they
with chamoy. Basically with chamoy, dude. He's like, you got to get this fucking snack. These Mexicans know what they're fucking doing, honey.
She's like, ew, Mexican candy.
He's like, it's too early for fucking spicy candy. And he's like, this chamoy thing's fucking the best. And it literally looks like Mexican candy. It looks like
it does.
It looks like
it might as well have been one of those mango pops.
Yeah. There's some candy that looks exactly like this. Membrillo is called. Anyway,
just smaller.
Yeah. So
nice.
So he's eating Mexican candy, and he's like, and then she's kind of like, oh, so you got any assistant? He's like, oh, it's assistant. We're finished.
But just real quick, is that like that guy's stand? Is that seriously how it looks? It's just a a silver square in a wall.
Yeah.
Also, what you see is what you get. Like if someone sneezes on that fucking candy, that's all he's got. Dude.
That's it.
So they're not wrapped or anything.
No. They're Mexican candy, dude. He just
I guess
made
so.
them.
Right?
I mean, like back in the for example, my dad used to describe how street food would work back in the day in Korea. So when he was a kid, basically, they would make a big rice cake stew, spicy rice cake stew. Tteokbokki, that's what they would call it. And basically, every kid needed to pay a price of entry. So like, let's say it's 25 cents. I don't know what the currency conversion would have been back then. Basically, they wait in line.
Korean quarters.
Tuppence.
Yeah, quarters with a K. That's what they were called. But then like they would give them the money.
With OR, like quarters, you know?
Yeah.
And then
KORTARS.
What would happen is he'd be like, okay, it's full up. I finished the stew. Everyone just gather around. Here are your spoons. And everyone would just eat out of the big tray of food at the same time.
Like a trough?
Yeah, like a trough. Yeah.
Nice.
No wonder a lot of kids were dying, dude.
Jesus.
Yes, that's what was killing them.
The food.
No wonder they fled to North Korea.
They fled away.
They're like, let's go to the
my family fled away from North Korea.
I mean, I guess you do what you can.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, if you're hungry, you're gonna eat. So
I mean, apparently, I had there's an episode of Tasting History where they talk about ice cream in New York, and apparently they used to sell ice cream by the lick. So literally, there was like a cup of ice cream, and people would pass it around licking it.
Oh my god!
That's how they would fucking
get the diseases of the world.
Nice.
Thank you.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah. Well, think about in 100 years what they're going to say about now. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, and now it'll be like, oh, this is disgusting. They were giving out popsicles out of cars.
Yeah.
That's fucking disgusting.
Yeah.
God, they didn't have it safely replicated in a machine.
They were eating Korean barbecue from a fucking little stove, and everyone was huddled around
that
it.
Smoke! Oh my god, they just breathe in the smoke. That's crazy.
Just coughing all over each other's meats. If you know what I mean.
That's fucking nuts. Yeah, raw meat. That's fucking crazy. They don't cook it at the farm.
Yeah.
What are they talking about?
Yeah. You mean they didn't kill it and then cook it right away?
I know.
They let it sit there for days on end?
That's fucking crazy.
So anyway, he gets the Mexican candy. He's like, oh, my assistant. She's beautiful. She's the best, dude.
She's so pretty.
So pretty. She's big.
Did you guys recognize her from Duet? No, you don't. No, you didn't. You don't remember Duet. So
I don't remember anything, dude.
What they were trying to do was they were trying to like tease her more. So apparently she was supposed to show up multiple times throughout the season.
Oh, but that didn't work.
Yeah, they only got her
really.
Duet.
Yeah, I didn't really recognize her too much.
Yeah, exactly. So they fucked up because they were like, apparently I think the story is they had an original person who was supposed to play that character earlier on, but they didn't like her, so they fired her, and then they just didn't have the character in the episode. So they were supposed to like have it show up more, but
okay,
interesting.
It was supposed to be like a big betrayal. It's like, oh my god, this character we've grown to love turned out to be a huge asshole.
Well, he has a little work crush,
Yeah. Wow.
Well,
he's trying. He's trying.
Do you think it's a crush? I don't think it's a crush. I think.
I mean, you may think she has an appreciation for him in some way.
I think he wasn't even thinking about it until Keiko brought it up, and then he started going,
me too.
Huh.
I agree.
And then when they were working together, he was like, okay, I gotta dial it back. Oh boy.
Here's the thing. Like I get how like there's workplace romances. I understand that. But here's the thing. What people sometimes don't factor in is that dudes are sometimes very oblivious to signs. Very oblivious. I'm now. I've told you this before.
Right.
I've realized, that person like in senior year of high school was flirting with me.
Right.
And it took me, 20, 30 years to figure that out. You know what I'm saying?
I think that's just you though. Because I was not oblivious to those signs.
Really?
I was oblivious to shit like that.
I wasn't.
This reminds me of a conversation I had at work recently where like I work with a lot of
work husband. You're picking a work husband.
Okay, so I work with a lot of guys.
She just went past that question, dude. Wow, dude.
No,
she's prefacing it. Bunch of dudes.
Yeah,
I work with a bunch of guys, and one of those guys told me the other day, he's like, "I don't trust you. I don't know you." And I was just like,
right, I remember this story.
I like this guy already. I like this guy
okay.
That's
and
fair.
I'm like, well, I trust you, and I start off, I just started this job.
Yeah. We discussed you're wrong, but go ahead.
I told him, I just was like, I trust you. Like, I know we just met, but like I start off at 110 and then we kind of dial it back. And he's like, I'm the complete opposite. I don't know you. I don't trust you. Like,
did you meet me at work?
Whatever. And I'm just like, okay.
Like, we've had this conversation here.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
So yes. And so I was telling him this, and then I was kind of talking to my other female coworkers, and I just was like, I'll call him X. X said, he doesn't trust me. And they're just like, okay, like in order to get what you want, you have to, guys are guys. You have to turn on the sweetness and the flirtatiousness and just say, hey, she's like, bring them something, bring them a gift. And they'll do whatever. She's like, bring them something, and they will do whatever you want.
Is this a video game side quest?
Yeah. Is this fucking Persona?
Is this like when we're trying to get the cat to come to you in Red Dead Redemption?
And so she was saying she that was her tactic. Is she? One day she just was
there an icon floating above her head before you talked to her?
Did she bring donuts or something? What'd she bring?
She brought them all like Red Bulls and like all sorts of stuff.
Red Bulls.
Then now all of a sudden
acquired 1X Red Bull.
Yeah.
They trust you, but it
They're
made
like,
me
sugar
think
free.
about this.
Fuck this shit.
It just made me think about this this little workplace dynamic of like having to work with these guys, and they have to work with me, and like, how do I get what I want, and how do they get what they want? And like, it's like a bartering system.
How are you going to succeed in betraying them all?
Yeah,
I don't know. I'm trying to think what I can bring them for them to like me, but she just was like, also like, you should just flirt with them, and I'm like, oh, okay, and I'm like, well, I'm not going to do that. So
yeah,
she's like, they're guys at the end of the day, just like fucking turn it up, a little bit, and you'll get what you want. And I was like, all right, okay.
What do you need to get from them though?
Or they're just assholes.
I need them to do their jobs. How about that?
Here's the thing.
Yeah, wait a minute. This all started from I don't trust you. Like, he could have just been saying that arbitrarily. Like, were you actually trying to get something from him at the time?
let's see. What
was the context of this?
The context of the situation is I was just doing my job. But the thing is like
he just came up and is like, look, you fucking bitch, I fucking don't trust you. What do you mean?
It's the way the industry works.
What do you mean?
It's the way I work in a restaurant, so it's very like you have to earn your place.
I understand, but Sarah, what is the context of this? He just yelled out, "Hey, you new girl, I don't fucking trust you." What you're not giving us like what was happening at the moment?
He just, I was just like asking questions or asking different things or
you see you saying "or" is freaking me out because it makes me think like that. Like,
I wasn't doing anything. That's the thing. I was doing my job. But the thing is like whether you get a friendly interaction or not is based on rapport and like trust. It's like, on your what are you going to do for me in order for me to treat you nicely? It's not. It doesn't start off that way.
He's basically a Fallout New Vegas companion. You have to continue his side quest. You kind of
have to like sweeten them up a little bit in order for them to be cooperative. If that makes sense.
I feel like I are the opposite. Like, leave us alone and we'll cooperate. But if you interact, then there's problems.
I mean, I'll interact with you. I'll be polite. I'll talk. But I would prefer to just.
It's like almost
alone.
like a hazing. Like it's like a hazing period, kind of like you. It's like because I'm new and people don't know me. It's why should I even interact with you or talk with you or, answer your questions?
Yeah, but also like, maybe they have a big turnaround. Like they have seen you grow every week. And
but
like,
if I'm asking you, where's this food? Yeah. That's a question. I'm not asking you like what do you do on your day off? Like I'm asking.
Was that the context?
Yes,
you're like, hey, where's the ketchup?
It's always the
and
context.
He's like, I don't fucking trust you.
Exactly. Like that's always the context. I'm not talking about the stuff that's not related to work. Yeah.
But a big detail Sarah's leaving out is that the person she's talking to is the executive chef. So he has a huge ego.
Oh yeah, dude.
So that's a really big detail.
You got to bring a steak or something,
No, but that's with everyone. That's not.
But that was the guy though. That he was the exec chef. So as a result, he's kind of a big ego about it.
Yeah.
But that exists in every kitchen. So it goes to show you like the power dynamics of working with when you have male and female, and then even just talking with my coworker, I just was like, is there any advice to like get him to like me? And she's just like, bring them something, flirt, do what you got to do. And I just was like, all right, is that what we got to do? It just, I don't know. It just made me think about like these.
But is it like flirting or being nice that is misinterpreted as flirting?
Yeah.
No, it's flirt. I mean, because then I saw her, her interactions. I'm just like, oh, okay. I get what she's trying to do. She's, if you just turn on the charm of being a young woman enough, you can get what you want,
But I don't know what you're so what are you talking? Are you saying that this girl in the show was flirting on purpose? I mean, she was. I'm not saying she's flirting. I'm just saying like she was trying to blend in. So she can get
it kind of reminded me. It just made me think about like
I think she is trying to disarm
dynamics.
Him.
She is trying to. She is,
but by doing a good job. As opposed to flirting, do you mean?
I mean, no, there are very clear moments where she is definitely flirting with him that has nothing to do in a way that like relates to the job.
The part where they're fixing the runabout together and she's kind of like, well, you're not like the other humans. I would hang out.
Well, yeah, but she's a Kardashian, right?
No, she's a Bajoran.
sorry, Bajoran. Yeah, sorry. Bajoran, yeah.
Right.
Yeah. So... yeah. I'm just trying to.
It's just interesting how, and it just made me think of like in my own life how I don't find myself having to do that with females a lot, but when I work with men, usually there's this period of like distrust, and then you kind of have to like prove yourself, and why should I listen to you even though I'm not asking you to do anything that's outside of your purview of your job? And then but it changes if you try to play into their ego a little bit, if you let them, it's just this whole dynamic of being a woman. I don't know. I think
part of it also is that like it's many industries are very male dominated, and they kind of go, no, this is our thing.
Yeah.
Don't fucking touch my thing. That's my thing. Touch my thing.
And I just think that like men can be like in certain industries can be hostile to women,
not within the industries. I think in general.
That's a pretty general thing you can say.
Are you saying Miles O'Brien is hostile?
No, I'm not. I'm just saying in some industries, like the restaurant industry.
We're officially not talking about Star Trek right now.
Oh, God.
But this also can be related to like the technical engineering industry. I'm not saying Miles is like that. Miles is a very nice guy, actually. And he seems like a pleasure to work with.
He likes chamoy, dude. This guy doesn't fuck around, dude. He doesn't.
I'm just saying, in these science, technical industries,
he goes to the Mexican market and buys his own Mexican candies.
It can be tough. It can be tough for a woman, and maybe it does seem like to me she does have this like little work crush on Miles. That's all.
No, but it's not a real thing.
Yeah, it's not. It's 100%. She's a suicide bomber. She's a fucking killer.
That's the thing is that like she is putting up the front of I have a work crush, but in reality it's all for her deep cover mission.
But that's what made me think about my story of like she's using her female. Are you trying to
suicide bomb your work, dude?
No,
dude. Sarah, don't.
She's just using the aspect of being a female and using that to her advantage to get what she wants and the access that she wants, and how that's actually very relevant to like any and all industries that women have to work in, really.
But the funny part of that though is that in this episode, he was otherwise completely oblivious to it until Keiko brought it up.
Yeah.
That's what makes it kind of a funny situation is that he was actually like pretty innocent. He was kind of being like, I've had to replace so many engineers. My God. Like it's great to finally have an engineer who knows what they're doing.
Because women are more observational. Like they just are.
Well, here's an observation. Here's the work thing that kind of relates to this a little bit, kind of, but not really. At our old work, Marvin and I, we had an intern who was logging who everyone thought she had a crush on me. Everyone thought. I was just myself, just being an asshole. And then everyone was like, yeah, dude. Yeah, definitely, dude. And I'm like, I don't think so, bros. And it turns out she was gay. I went to her wedding. Sometimes it's just, people, sometimes it's how you say it, Sarah. But sometimes people are just nice and some people are just assholes. That's what it breaks. Like sometimes it is what it is. But sometimes it is what you say it is. It's true. Both ways.
But sometimes it's a cover for a terrorist attack.
Yeah. Sometimes exactly, it is that.
Yeah. Sure. In this case, it was a cover for a terrorist attack.
It's a cover for a terrorist attack. And
multiple terrorist attacks.
Yeah, dude. So much terrorism.
She's a killer, dude. She's
literally.
Yeah. So
I mean, Vedek Winn is a murderer as well because it's by her orders.
She was totally cool with just like
Yeah. So basically,
bomb the school. Wow.
Yeah.
So you basically have
fucking hardcore.
Like a Betsy DeVos, right? And she's like a hardcore conservative that like wants to teach Bibles in schools and stuff, right?
Yeah.
And you have you at first you don't know, but eventually you realize that these two storylines are connected, right? So Betsy DeVos sits in Keiko's class and she's teaching about science, and she's like, "Well, that's not how it happened."
Right. Actually,
a God is in that pocket in there. And he helps makes the tunnel, And she's like, "Oh yeah, I just don't teach that. Like I basically like leave that out and kind of just teach like the basics and stuff."
Well, she teaches science.
And she's like, like, "Well, if you're not teaching our beliefs, then you're blasphemous, Like you're going against the word of God, basically."
Right.
And so there's this whole thing where like you have the Bajorans, and for a while, what's her face lost me. Kira, is that her name?
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
Because she's like, well, she's not wrong. This like Betsy DeVos lady. She's like, she's not wrong.
Yeah.
Like,
she lost me for
to
this point.
Like, to be fair,
the comments and discussions I'm hearing from fans and stuff, I feel like moments like that are going to keep coming throughout the show, where it's like a character does something, it's like, oh crap, I didn't want them to do that.
Yeah, like they'll commit like Nazi crimes, and then like you're like,
that complicates their character for me. I can't like them 100% anymore.
But so
damn it.
So Betsy DeVos is like we're gonna have a problem. And so basically Kira's like, well, why don't you have 2 schools? And he's like, no, that's now we're creating a problem because we're like segregating. You're basically saying let's segregate these people.
Yeah.
And that's not the point, is to learn from each other's cultures.
Come on, everybody.
Let's learn about the science, and then you could teach the
what if they framed it as like a Montessori?
Well, like Keiko brings up a good point. She's like, it's not my job to teach religion, it's yours.
Actually, you teach it.
Yeah.
Well, they're saying the problem is that they're saying it contradicts what they're teaching, so it's like,
right.
Yeah. Well, it's so funny because I used to watch episodes, because I like to decompress sometimes at night while watching shitty reality TV shows.
Mm-hmm.
This is before the whole scandal with them, but I used to watch that show where the family has like 35 kids and counting. You know the Duggars.
The Duggars, yes. Yeah.
Oh.
And one time they went on vacation, and they were like mining for gold or some bullshit like that. And they were like, it was like one of those. It was like one of those things where like, you
hey
go
kids,
to like
let's go mine for gold.
You know those places where like
ass life.
There's 2 things, like you go look for fossils, and you like go, like it's a reenactment town, and you go mine for gold, basically, right?
Okay.
And there's 2 things happening: the gold stuff, and then the fossil stuff.
Right.
And then the guy giving the tour is talking about how old these fossils are, blah blah. And then the kid's like, I'm just paraphrasing here. So the kid goes like, oh, this guy's saying that the Earth's this old, and he's like, well, we know it's not that old, because God made blah blah blah, and basically he alluded that like God put the dinosaur bones there. That is old because he put them there so we could have, and I was like, God damn it, dude. Like, this is where we're at, dude. Like, and that's my problem. Yeah, dude. And
I mean, it's where we haven't never escaped being there.
Yeah. And like, we're still fighting that now. You know what I mean? Like, literally, it'll always be where like people are like, oh, we should be teaching the 10 Commandments. This is why we have school shootings, because we're not teaching. And it's like, nah, there's killing in the fucking Bible. There's a lot of killing in the Bible, and there's fucking brother fucking and sister fucking, and like
God kills
so
tons.
much fucking.
God commits the largest genocide of all.
There's so much smiting in the Bible.
Yeah.
And the truth is,
what do you think popularized smiting?
Yeah.
Here's the crazy part.
They made a game called Smite, and it's based off of God.
If you look up like the Noah's Ark thing, the lines in the Bible explicitly say God wanted to, not in his exact words, but the text basically says God actually wanted to kill all the animals. Because God was like, all these animals suck. Yeah, I need to just kill them all.
Gotta kill them all. Yeah.
That's
why he was like, you gotta have a female and a male on here. No Tim and Tim here.
No gay boys on here. Okay.
Yeah. So. Yeah. No fucking no EDCers here, dude.
Are we sure about this? He just it just goes 2 of every animal, right?
Yeah, it's true.
You think he was okay with them? Like, he's like, birds are okay because he got cloacas.
Like, what would he know about reproduction?
Yeah, that's true. He's busy doing other things.
God's a fucker too.
So anyway,
also fuck.
But we're going through this now. Like, it's like people.
Yeah, I mean, it's disappointing to know that DS9's future is still dealing
far
with
away,
these
and still,
these questions of. I thought we did separation of church and state. Obviously, we have not, but
But the truth is that is your job. Like, also, it's not. You're now imposing. That's the thing about religious freedom, which is you have the freedom to practice any religion you want until it infringes on my religion or my lack of religion.
But that's the thing. That's the fundamental problem. I'm going to anger a lot of people. That's the fundamental problem with fundamentalist religions, is the fact that by their own, so let's take the Catholic Church, for example. The Catholic Church claims the rules are rigid until
church, by the way.
They claim all the rules are rigid and exactly how they should be until they decide to change them whenever they want.
Yeah.
But that's only the higher ups.
Yeah.
And therefore, the people who are Catholic for
it's like a religious pyramid scheme, by the way.
Yeah, well, all religions in a way, organized religions in a way. But like the fact that like the people who practice Catholicism then have to go, technically everyone is going to hell otherwise, you know? Yeah. So if that's true, the fundamental truth of what you believe Catholicism to be, you would actually be crazy to try to not convert people to Catholicism. You know, that is, if you're a fundamental Catholic, you're trying to convert everyone as a thing because it's good for them. You're saving their souls.
Yeah.
You know, like, and if that is your actual belief, that is the fundamental. You can't leave them alone. Your religion doesn't allow you to leave them alone. That's the problem we're having with fundamentalist Christians in America right now. The fundamentalist belief of Christianity is we can't separate church and state. That is bad for everyone.
That's a problem.
You know, like, whereas like if you have like less fundamentalist religions, like certain versions of like, you know, Protestantism or just, you know, softer Christianity,
cool stuff like Scientology. Right? Am I right?
Scientology also, part of it is that they're trying, but also Scientology is running on a capitalist method where they're trying to.
It's really all about control because everything these people preach, they don't practice, right? You know, and what Quark touches on that when he's just like, oh fuck, I'm gonna need twice as many Dabo girls because we know these religious folk go fucking nuts, you know? So
it's
kind of like all the rules and regulations and this is all, it's all for certain people, not for everybody.
I love how Quark says that line almost angrily.
like goddamn whore's gonna have these whores walking around here.
Well, I need twice as many Dabo girls then.
It's all about control.
Yeah,
it's all about control.
In a station like that, dude. Here's the thing: is that I never understood as a kid who grew up being Catholic and fucking an altar boy and stuff like that. I never understood where I was like when I left like religion behind in my early teens, probably 12, 13, is that I never understood like they're like, well, you know, like the devil, you're gonna get punished, gonna go to hell. The devil's gonna like punish you, and it's like, but why would he punish me for doing his bidding?
Right?
Why? Like why don't I just do bad things? And then just, why would he punish me for doing bad things? In fact, I will be rewarded.
I might get rewarded.
Yeah. With many Dabo girls, dude, you know?
Yeah, that's true.
So have you ever looked up like the Church of Satan's like rules?
Yeah,
like
it's like
they're all
time.
Like they're all like stuff that you agree with. Like like if you look up the 11 satanic rules of the earth.
This was debunked a long time ago.
Yeah, like these are all great. Like, do not give opinions or advice unless you're asked. That's so practical.
Agreed. Yeah.
Do not tell your troubles to others unless you are sure they want to hear them.
Sure.
You're like, okay.
One of the best
Satan
ones.
Sounds like a bang up guy.
Do not make sexual advances unless you are given the mating signal. That's totally practical.
Yeah.
Basically, don't sexually assault anyone. Like
it's basically ask for consent. Ask for the sign.
Yeah.
The sign of the devil.
Yeah. Do not harm little children. Like these are all.
Yeah. I mean, it's very. Well, this is the hypocritical nature of it all, right? So it's all about control. It's all about control and just being able to make excuses for those who want to.
Yeah.
Again, you think about the Catholic Church. I was raised in the Catholic Church. I was confirmed. Grew up going to church multiple times a week.
Yeah, but you couldn't be an altar boy because you're a woman, dude.
I was not an altar boy.
Hey, know your place, dude.
But, you know, and I went to like an Irish Catholic church, like very like.
Oh, right. That's what you're telling you. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, he was an Irish Catholic priest straight from Ireland. And it was a very, very intense church, like very, very strict, very boring. If you will.
Very strict and very boring.
All religions are boring.
Oh, yeah, some make it more exciting, but you know, it just
Satanism sounds like a lot of fun.
Ridiculous.
Yeah,
like a lot of it was so ridiculous. And you think about all the sexual things going on with the Catholic Church and the this and the that, and you're kind of like, okay, who's the real harm
He's
here.
a real devil. Here's the thing. So basically, you have one lady who's really like hardcore. She's really like,
and she's evil,
fundamentalist, and she's infiltrated the station because she controls her sleeper cell is that girl that's working with Miles O'Brien. Turns out this girl vaporized a dude straight up.
Yeah.
In one of the tunnels.
She's very broken up about Ensign Aquino's death.
Yeah.
Well, to be fair, no one like really knew him, so that's kind of also why it went under the radar a bit.
I mean, that's really sad.
You think that's why they were sad? They were like, we know maybe he was depressed and killed himself, dude. You know, and so that's why maybe they're like, oh, we didn't do anything, dude. He was here all the time. We didn't even know his fucking last name, dude. We just called him Tim.
They're not talking about anything about like no next of kin, no condolences, no funeral.
That's also true. Yeah, they're not being like we need because there's got to be some sort of procedure.
He's just goo to analyze for Bashir.
I know. Yeah. I like that they find the goo. And basically, I thought someone fucking shit the fucking. Someone was like, "I gotta shit. I'm gonna go in the tunnels, dude." That's what I thought happened.
I'm not gonna make it. I'm just gonna shit in the tunnels.
Yeah, he's like, Tim, cover for me. I gotta go shit in the tunnel, dude. I'm not gonna make it to the bathroom. And so I thought someone that shit, and then like they took the shit sample, and they're like, "Oh, it's a human." And all this
Bashir's like, you brought me a bunch of poo."
Yeah, you brought me poo, dude. This is old fashioned human poo. And so basically, like you have this fundamentalist lady who has a sleeper cell, and she wants to kill the new guy who's going to become the Al-Zagib or whatever it's called,
the new pope.
The new pope. And she doesn't want. She wants to be the new pope, basically. And so she's like, I'm going to assassinate this. And basically, it was a whole plot to get him to go to the station. She calls for this guy to get killed, right? Because it's just part of he's getting in the way. And then she bombs a fucking school, dude.
School bombing, which is crazy.
And then this
granted, while it's not in session, apparently, but still.
But she's trying to like, she's constantly trying to up the stakes to be like, we need to get this guy to visit.
Yeah, we need to get this guy to bless us, dude. Yeah, and how does Miles O'Brien not know that she's not in like her work hours? How would I know my wife's work hours? You know. Like this
what do you mean?
Like,
Miles didn't know that Keiko wasn't.
She's not there.
But we know that he barely cares. So
this has been established.
He was like, great. Remember the episode where he was like, "You're Japanese? Oh my god!"
Yep, when he said that on screen.
That's pretty bad.
To be fair, the actual thing that happened in the episode is you eat this. It's like you fucking lived with her for a while. How did you not know what the fuck she eats? You know,
this is inedible. So anyway, so they bring what's the name? Jake's dad. What's the name? Tim
Cisco.
Yes,
you remember Jake, but you don't remember Cisco. That's amazing.
I call him Jake Sully, and I remember I can't forget Jake Sully.
You love Avatar so much.
I love Avatar a lot, dude.
You love Avatar so much. It's the best thing James Cameron's ever made.
James Cameron has not made a bad movie in my eyes, dude. Ever. Everything is a banger, dude.
Oh my god!
Every single James Cameron movie has always been amazing. James Cameron
movie is a banger, dude. This guy doesn't miss, dude.
I'll bet his filmography stands up to a lot of others, like better than most. But
20 for 20,
maybe not
dude.
Everything.
Dan, you're talking out your ass, dude. This guy's a saint. We should make him a pope, dude. Here's the thing.
God.
Yeah.
So Jake's dad goes and talks to this guy, and he's like, "Hey," because they're homies, dude, right? And he's like, "Dude," he's like, "I can't go." He's like, I'm not. I don't touch the ears. I'm not a toucher, dude. I'm just like a modern bro. Like, you know, like I listen to.
Just goes like, "Dang, you got my support."
Yeah. He's like,
immediately he's like, "Oh, I'm anti-ear touching. I'm a one-issue voter."
Yeah. He's like, dude. He's like, I listen to Creed. I like to grow my hair long. I have an earring. I'm cool. I'm a cool pope, man. And he's like, I talk to the youths, and he's like, oh yeah, yeah. And he's like, I believe in you, but I just can't be putting my neck out because they're gonna make me a pope, baby. And he's like, all right, that's cool. And then finally, like the school outing happens, and then this guy has to show up, dude.
Because he's like, hey, you know, this is really a political issue.
Yeah.
So it is interesting that that's the first time that we have really gotten a look at the fact that Bajoran politics are also their religion.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well, kind of like
it's like the Vatican. It's like the Vatican.
Yeah.
It's like if the Vatican ran a planet. Yeah. That's kind of what this is.
This is the first time the show has made it so clear.
Yeah. I have a question.
Yeah.
Is he going to become what the lady's title was? The lady that's stuck in the
Kai?
So that repeat.
Kai.
Speaking of which, the Kai Opaka disappearing episode, Battle Lines, that really should have happened like right before this one.
Is this
homie
in Opaka?
Oh no, so the Kai, the name Kai is
Kai's the title. Kai is an elected title.
Like
and what's
Pope.
Opaka? What's Opaka?
Opaka's the name of the lady who is stuck on the planet that dies forever.
So Kai.
Yeah.
Like Cobra Kai. So Cobra Kai Cobra's his name, Kai's his title, bruh.
And Vedek basically means cardinal.
Yeah,
There's just a bunch of Vedeks.
So this homie was like, all right, I'm gonna roll up. And so he rolls up, and then by this time Miles O'Brien's like, dude, we analyzed the poopy, and it turns out it was a human. It was a human shit pal.
And he was shot to death.
It was shot to death, dude.
It was a phaser.
They slowly figure out that this girl, Neela, who's got weird eyes, by the way. that she's actually doing shitty shit, and they're like, oh,
she made like some sort of weird program,
and so it turns out that she. And by the way, she's got a whole plan where she's gonna try to escape after this. Like she's gonna go to fucking Nicaragua or something like that.
Wow.
And in fact, that's why she killed Ensign Aquino, because she was trying to secure an escape route.
Yeah.
So basically, she was preemptively securing an escape route sequence through the shields,
which makes me think she's not a true believer, because or else she just would have she's been like, I'll die for this cause. You know what I mean? She's not a true cause believer, you know?
Yeah, it's weird because she had an escape plan and all that built, but then she was also like, but Vedek Winn, if I do this, they're gonna capture me and execute me. I don't want that. And then Vedek Winn is like, sometimes you gotta do that for the prophets. I mean,
and he's like, why didn't she do it? Why didn't she do it? And stab him?
Because it's a lie.
They're always pussies, dude.
Yeah, because it's a complete lie. It's only being done because Vedek Winn wants. They wrote it. If you wanted to make like this is minor spoil. This is the most despicable character that you're gonna meet, probably, in my opinion.
Or
Vedek, probably overall.
Here's my theory. Here's my theory for all world leaders.
That's pretty strong words.
We get rid of all fucking armies. The world leaders have to fight. Like Matisyahu, the guy from Israel, has to fight the other guy from like just fucking man to man or woman to woman. However you want to do it, dude. If you can't fight your battles, you can't fight a war. You can't send drone strikes and like knivesies or whatever you want, dude. Chains, old timey chains, whatever, dude.
Old timey chains.
Yeah.
Bow and arrow.
As opposed to those slick modern ones that have no soul.
I'm tired of this whole let's send like thousands of people to die and drones. It's like, dude, stop being a pussy, dude. Roll up, dude. Like old school, like West Side Story, dude. You can come in with a gang, like singing if you want, but you got to roll up alone, dude. You know. But these guys are like fucking sitting with their suits, fucking pussies, dude. Like fucking roll up, dude.
Well, but it takes pussy. Armies are raised because politicians are pussies. That's why.
Yeah, I just wish like the armies would be like, nah, you pussies fucking fight. Like we're tired, dude.
I mean, you know, it was easier to trick people to do that back in the day. Now that's why we have to use robots now, because now you have to separate. It's like, it's literally, you know, it was a joke in Arrested Development that Buster Bluth is like, oh, I'm playing a video game. I'm really good at. Oh my god, I've been killing people with a drone.
Yes. Oh my god.
And then that's real now.
So
that's like they've done psychological studies where the soldiers don't even mentally connect that. Oh, I've just killed a bunch of people. Right. I've just done that. Like it doesn't even register to them.
Yeah, he's like, I was playing Mario Brothers and I was just smashing fucking toads. Babies. So here's the thing. So this duel rolls up, and then Miles O'Brien figures it out, and he's like, Cisco,
they turned the weapon.
There's a shooter on the fucking. It's
they turned
the weird eyes,
weapon detectors off.
Yeah, it's the girl that Keiko's fucking jealous about, but she's got weird eyes. I would never.
Keiko's right.
Her. Yeah, and then it's like the line of fire, dude. He's like, it's like. His heart's fucking going, dude.
Oh my god!
And he's
the slow mo, like the real, and they did real slow mo. They actually sped up footage, in order to get recording footage to actually get real slow mo. Because a lot of times they forget to do slow mo. Yeah, it wasn't the stuttering slow mo; it was real slow mo. Yeah, they really slowed down.
And then they got a lot of extras, dude. Because he's like, "Move out of the way, you bitches."
Yeah,
and she's there, and then she.
It sounded a lot like Darth Vader's "No," didn't it?
Yeah.
Well, he slowed down. So
all right.
Here's the thing about the shot. Close. She's a horrible shot. She misses by a fucking like 10, 20 feet.
That's the funny part. He leaps at her. she fires before he leaps. So she was never going to hit him to begin.
Yeah, never. Yeah.
She wasn't jostled or anything?
No, she wasn't.
The first shot was clear, dude.
Yeah, she had a clear first shot. She just missed.
Taken a shot, and the crowd could have tackled her, dude, and it would have been fine, dude.
Yeah.
But no, he tackled her. She got two shots, I think, away, or three. She shot one to the left of the dude, or to the right of him. And then she shot to the floor.
It looks like the gun has some sort of recoil that she's not used to or something. And that's why it kind of that's why it kind of like raises as she shoots it.
She's like, oh shit, dude.
So I think that's might
about
be why.
The best explanation we can devise.
Yeah, because her arm like kind of raises as she fires. So
we'll never know this, dude. We don't know the recoil on that fuck. It's lasers. They shouldn't have any recoil.
Well, that's the thing. Yeah, why should she use that
cramp in that moment?
Use the phaser like you did the other guy. Where
so anyway, so the gun goes off, misses. She gets another shot, goes to the floor, and then by the time Cisco's like got her and she's got her from her back, and he's like, "Don't look at me with your freak eyes, dude," and he fucking arrests her, and then he's like, "Well, all's well that ends well," and then Kira's like, "Well, yeah, you're right. You said some nice things yesterday." And I'm like, get the fuck out of here with your bullshit, dude. You almost killed his homie, dude. And he wants to like make everything cool. He's a cool pope. He wears shorts and he has long hair and he's got an earring, dude.
He's got earrings.
Listens to fucking Stained, the band.
He likes gardening.
He doesn't touch ears like everybody else. Fucking perverts.
Yeah.
I enjoy this episode. I'm gonna just fucking give it an 8 right now. Boom. Because at the end, fucking Cisco, like in the line of fire style. I love that.
That was crazy.
Yeah. I needed more of a heartbeat though. Like the.
He also gives a good speech when he's like first addressing the crowd that blew up the school. He was like, why would this happen? We're all working together. Come on. It was better than that.
But there was a point where he was like trying to both sides things. And that kind of bugged me. Yeah,
he's like, there's good people on both sides.
Yeah, and I was like, this is so weird.
So I think there's actually 3 sides, and 2 of them he's trying to say are 2 sides, and the third he's saying, get that fucking out of here. Because I think what's really going,
like the conservatives, the regular folks, the regular churchies,
yeah,
and then the liberals.
Yeah, it's basically kind of like, these are people who are Federation and they're science based. There is Bajorans who are religious, but they're willing to like work with us to create a new society together, like we've been doing for the past 7 months. And then there's religious fundamentalists who don't give a fuck about anything.
Yeah, like maybe 10 years ago, I would have called them the Tea Party.
Here's the thing.
Yeah.
Teabaggers. Here's the thing, dude. Here's what I propose. Dude, if I'm president, dude, I'm telling you guys gotta write me in, dude. If I'm president, I'll make a law that if you're a religious leader, you could be challenged by any one of your parishioners to battle for the top. You know, like if
you're a very battle oriented president.
Marvin,
every new law is about battle.
Everything is about an arena or a battle, or endowing a gun to someone or something, or inserting monkeys.
Here's the thing, guys. I feel like you guys are scared of my society, dude. It's gonna thrive, dude. Because here's the thing. Imagine like you're fucking.
We're not ready for the monkey singularity, Ricardo.
Imagine here. Joel Osteen is giving church, and someone goes, "I challenge you to battle. I want your billions of dollars," and then they just have to go at it, like, and no preparing, like, oh, in 3 months we'll fight in the octagon.
Okay, hold on, Ricardo. What would stop like the biggest, like most, like strongest guy from trying to battle everyone for everything?
He can't. You could only hold one post. You can't be more than one thing, dude.
The president, and he'd be the president.
Then it's fine. If he's the strongest guy, it's fine.
But one of the biggest, strongest guy is just like, I'm going to kill all Mexicans.
Then you have to get a Mexican that's really. There's so many big old Mexicans, dude. They'll roll up, dude, eat a burrito, and fucking knock this guy out, dude. And then we'll have taco trucks in every corner. It'll be beautiful. Yeah. Beautiful world. Right. I'm telling you guys. And then my monkeys will control everybody. There's no need for cops. These guys, monkeys are not racist, dude. They just hate all humans. They hate all humans equally.
Seems a bit chaotic.
It's a bit chaotic. Think about it. Would you rather have crooked cops who are racist, or my monkeys who are a little chaotic? Look, they kill once in a while, dude.
Yeah.
But not in a racial way.
I'll go with the monkeys. Yeah.
I thought it'd be really funny though if the next day, like tomorrow, like a new study comes out and it's like, it turns out monkeys are super racist.
I'll bet that they are. I bet like you that they are.
Like groundbreaking new monkey study comes out. Turns out monkeys are super racist.
Well, against what race though?
All
I don't
races.
know. I don't dare to guess because I don't want that heat, but I'll bet that they are.
I'm gonna guess that they're not racist, dude.
That heat's on them.
They're racist against all humans, though. Like they're just like, these guys are fucking. Maybe
they're actually the best ones to make decisions because they hate us all. So you're already starting at like an even playing field there.
They just start wiping humans out.
Yeah, dude. And dude, train these monkeys to ride fucking horses, dude, and like. Dude, fuck. It's going to be awesome, dude. We don't have to buy cars. It's going to be less carbon neutral fucking police forces, dude. You know?
Carbon neutral. Oh my gosh.
Well,
wow.
I would personally give it a 9. Actually, I really like the episode. There's a few things going for it. One is that, again, we're introducing Vedek Winn, who is just such a despicable... we'll see, but
them,
but she is just such a despicable character. I mean, it's hard to write a character like if they wanted to make a despicable character, they did it. It's like not only
did they arrest her at the end, they didn't really say
no, because she technically didn't commit a crime, and they couldn't prove anything.
Well, because Kira was like, we can't prove that she.
Right.
Yeah, but the girl with eyes will like, well, hey, we'll fix your eyes if you tell us who fucking did this, dude. You know?
Then she'll be like, no, the prophets will fix my eyes in the next life.
Yeah, put me in the hole and they'll fix my eyes.
But you know, they wrote not only did they write a character that's such like a vile religious fundamentalist, they then casted the actor who played Nurse Ratched to play her. So it's just like, you can't get an act like a more despicable package in one character. Like it's
I mean, like there are people who will see that face and instantly hate her already.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's built in that you're like, oh.
We should have started with that she was played by fucking Louise Fletcher. We should have.
Yes.
Here's the thing about actors like this, and I do want to say this because, by the way, she's also I think she's also the grandmother in Cruel Intentions. I think she's the same character.
She's also an Oscar winner, so she I think so that makes her the second Oscar winner to have been in a Star Trek series.
Actors like this are amazing, dude. Because your job is to for them to hate you so much, but don't play it like that, right? Like she doesn't play it like brah, ha, ha, ha. Like she's not a mustache
twirler. Yeah, she is.
It's very subtle. It's very well fucking played by her. And I feel like actors like this get a bad rap, and they kind of get like they get stuck playing bad people because every time they walk into like a room full of producers, they have that bad feeling in their gut. You know what I mean? Like same thing happened to Tony Goldwyn after Ghost, which is he couldn't really get a job because
didn't that also happen to Joffrey?
Yeah, that's happening to Joffrey right now.
But it did happen to him.
Well, he said part of why he stopped acting is that like I was just constantly typecast as a shit person, and I cannot.
It was funny because I love Matt Damon. I think Matt Damon's a great actor. And after The Departed, it was a good 2 years that I was like, I can't see Matt Damon in anything, dude. Because he did such a good job at being a bad guy that I just hated his face.
That's the funny part is when I watched Matt Damon, and you've talked about this before, but when I watched Matt Damon in The Departed, I actually viewed him as, it's just Matt Damon again. Because I think he's kind of an asshole in every role. Like I don't think he's ever played like a nice guy.
I think it's more like that his character killed the character I wanted to survive. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Really, but you do get stuck, and good on Louise Fletcher for at least you got her Oscar, you know.
Yeah. So I mean, like that's a big reason why I think is that like they have crafted such a hateable character.
Yeah.
And I think it's also just a combination of like it's the first time like you kind of go, hey, Keiko's kind of really cool. She's being really awesome. This is
the most righteous she's ever been.
Yeah, and she's like she's super right. She's being really brave in just saying no directly. Mm-hmm. She's not like conceding, you know. It's like, hey, maybe she is like, I don't know if she's qualified to actually be a teacher, but she'd make a good administrator. She's like sticking up for her students a lot. So
I mean, considering how quickly this became a hot enough issue with the Bajorans on the station to affect how they were treating Keiko and everything, it makes me wonder, like, did this really never come up before?
That's why I'm saying like the episode battle lines needed to be before this, because I feel like you wouldn't have had the head of, wait, the religion's a really big issue. because basically the Kai Opaka has disappeared for basically half a season, and people
they were
just
taking their sweet time. Like they haven't even gotten around to electing this new Kai yet.
I know, and it's just like, I mean, obviously it doesn't have to be 1-to-1 like the way the Catholic Church works, but
you mean the conclave, like the whole like little with the smoke and everything.
But the previous Kai did just suddenly go missing, which is usually cause for some hasty replacement of some kind, or like an interim representative.
It seems like they're doing like a political campaign, like it's taking some time because they got to drum up like support, and there's a
right now they are definitely giving the campaign mode vibe.
But the thing is, by the end of the episode, they're still campaigning. So it's not like at the end suddenly they were like, and
what's the rush?
Well, no, but what I'm saying is, I feel like the consequences of Kai Opaka disappearing would have been more immediate. I think part of what then could have been written into this episode. What would have been
the consequences?
That you lost our Pope, and we need to talk about that.
Well, she decided she wanted to go.
But there was no, but I think you had needed like more proof, or there needed to be more of a reckoning. I think what should have also happened in the episode.
I mean, she probably recorded a video of herself and showed it.
No, she didn't.
But they didn't.
We talked about it in the episode that she didn't.
But then the thing is, like, I think part of what
maybe no one liked her.
I think part of what should have been the reckoning in this episode, because obviously Vedek Winn's general demeanor around Cisco is fake. Right? She's being like, oh, the emissary, I should like bow to you, etc. Right? But I think the way you could have written that to be more about her being vindictive is that she is angry that this guy who's a human, not only is the emissary some fucking human, but also he basically lost our Pope. How can we trust this guy to be our emissary? And I feel like that should have been part of the narrative as well. I feel like people should have been like...
I mean, if that had been part of the narrative, it would have had to come right after they lost her.
I don't know if people care that much.
Well, I think people do care, though.
Like, no one cares.
You don't care because we've spent like months away from that plot point happening.
Yeah, so you don't care as a viewer, but clearly the Bajorans care.
You know what? You don't know that. You don't know that. I mean,
but she decided. Like, how do we know that there wasn't a communication off screen that she's just like, look, this is my life's calling. I'm doing this.
It happened very quickly, and they were just in a cave. So they clearly had to depend on the word of whoever else left the planet, which was Cisco, Kira, and Bashir. So
why wouldn't they believe them?
I mean, they will probably be more likely to believe Kira, but it's hard to believe there wouldn't have been any political turmoil over it. If the Pope,
I mean, they're a free person. If they want to devote their life to these people on these planets.
No, it's not a matter of they don't. It's a matter of whether they believe them or not, Sarah. That's what I'm saying. Like,
I don't know why they wouldn't believe them.
Why would they believe them?
Why wouldn't they?
Because there's a lot of reason not to. Why would you think that Kai Opaka would suddenly that's part of the problem with Battle Lines. It's inexplicable that she decides to devote her life to these two people.
I know what you're saying logically, but I feel like Star Trek has set up a universe where that is possible. And if Kira and a bunch of people, and maybe there's probably stuff that is just off screen that like, hey, her calling is this and we're moving on. Also, I don't know how much of a political role these people, because like how much of a role is it like being the king or queen where it's kind of more a symbol? But that's okay. If the king and queen were to vanish tomorrow, it wouldn't really affect anything.
Oh no. Okay, that's not. But you're thinking British king or queen.
Yes, I am. But that's what I'm saying is like But
that's incorrect because it's like the actual king or queen of the Vatican. The Pope is the king of the Vatican. He literally is the king.
Okay, it's but the same like thing if the Pope were to vanish tomorrow, I don't think things would fall apart. We
would just get another Pope.
We would just
white smoke.
Okay, but imagine if the entire planet was Catholics. Catholics obviously cared, and Catholics gathered outside of the Vatican to be like, "What the fuck's going on? Who's going to be Pope?"
And even though we weren't Catholic, we had to hear about it.
Yeah, you're talking about this from a perspective as being a lapsed Catholic, like an actual Catholic who's active is freaking out over it. Like,
I mean, nobody was freaking out that he died. He was old and ill. Like,
but they would freak out if the Pope suddenly disappeared and someone
especially if a foreign government was the one who came back and said he said that he wanted to stay there forever.
Yes.
And you're never going to see him again.
Think about North Korea rolling up and they're like, oh, the Pope, we took the Pope on a field trip. And then he said,
on his own accord, he's gone. Yeah.
It would be very fishy.
Stranger things have happened, honestly.
No, you make a lot of sense. You make a lot of sense.
A closer analog. So America is an ally to Italy, right? What if America took the we took the Pope on a SpaceX mission?
Yeah.
And he wanted to stay in space. Yeah. Sorry.
And he fucking blew up.
And then the Vatican would be fucking furious.
Yeah.
They would be like, what the fuck happened?
Like, stranger things have happened, and I wouldn't
name one stranger thing that has happened.
Lots of things. That are strange have happened. I can't dig into my historical knowledge at the moment.
No stranger things have happened. Only the show.
It's just
5 seasons.
It's just okay, and that's that. Yeah, is it shitty and full of plot holes? Yeah, of course.
I don't think it's full of plot holes. I think what happened is that because there was a larger distance between battle lines and this episode, it makes sense why they wouldn't bring it up now, because logically it should have been brought up the episode after battle lines.
Right. So just for my point, I personally was very hung up on that at the time. I wanted ramifications when the Kai went missing.
Or them go like, see, she can't die. She's living forever in that planet.
Sure.
Literally, she's immortal now.
Or like, I just wanted them to address it to any degree at all. That's basically what I wanted.
Just take it. How come no one takes pictures in this future? Like, no one's like, oh, here's a video of her. She's like, totally fine. Don't worry about it.
I don't know.
Because smartphones didn't exist and they didn't understand how people would actually use them.
Just put Jordy to do Predator Vision and record it in fucking Predator Vision.
Jordy wasn't there. He's gone. He's not there.
God damn it, dude.
Wait, I'm going to give this one, I think.
This would have been a 10 for
I'm
me.
going to give this one a 7.
Okay.
A 7. Because...
You don't like the girl with the eyes?
She's fine, I think.
Here's the thing. If the Pope had been played by Jan Michael Vincent, fuck, a 10, bro.
Why?
This guy was just okay.
Why
Jan Michael Vincent has a great name.
That's the only reason why.
Yeah. It rhymes. Jan Michael Vincent January.
I mean, it's a good episode. It's solid. It's an episode that addresses issues that we currently deal with now.
But everything does in the show. That's why they're so universal.
But for a season finale, it's an interesting choice, I think. Because you wonder, isn't part of like a season finale supposed to be like, well, maybe like a little bit of a set you up for the next season? I feel like I didn't really get any of that.
No one blew up any buttworms, Not one buttworm.
Well, there is some setup going on here. They are setting up the Bajoran like political climate that I'm assuming will become
in typical 90s fashion.
You mean a cliffhanger?
They usually try to do like something a little bit more
like the Hatch?
You mean a cliffhanger?
Exciting.
Cliffhanger. You're talking about cliffhanger?
Not quite to cliffhanger, but like, at least like a little something.
Like a John Rambo instead of a cliffhanger.
Well,
you mean like political intrigue?
Yeah.
I don't know. And also this made me really like, I don't know. Kira is, I don't know if she's someone, I can respect her.
Kira is getting on my nerves.
She's getting on my nerves. I can respect her point of view as a person. Would I be friends with her at this point? Probably not. No, because I think we have really different views. And
I have a question.
I don't know if I
do you when you guys are watching movies or TV shows, do you view characters as if they're people you would want to hang out with, or are you viewing them as characters in a narrative?
Characters in a narrative.
Because I do them both. I think both. I think both. Like, if I were in this world, would I hang out with Kira? But
I find it really odd whenever people talk about characters in movies or TV shows as if, I don't like that guy. He doesn't say the things I would agree with. It's like, well, that's a character. It's like a narrative device, essentially.
I mean, I'm acknowledging that. I'm just saying that, like, it's just a way people connect to something. It's like kind of like,
what's your favorite movie, Sarah?
Why do people get? What's my favorite movie? I mean, that changes all the time. I can't pick. Possibly
Predator 1 or 2.
Nobody's favorite movie is Predator 2. I'm sorry,
dude. I just rewatched it and I'm kind of turning the page on it. Like I think it's a lot better than I thought it was.
Better than Predator 1,
but it's not better than Predator.
No, it's not better than 1. But like
that's why no one would ever say Predator 2 is their favorite movie.
I feel like Predator 2 just was ahead of its time, dude.
Predator 2 is fine. It's just a little corny. That's all.
You're corny, dude.
I mean, it just feels like that maybe this season finale is an interesting choice for the first season season finale.
Well, part of it, I think, is that it was not a last minute replacement, but it was a replacement for the original season finale idea. The other is that idea? I think the original idea, like I said, he's so high that he's forgetting what we said at the start of recording. Mm-hmm. Basically, they were going to have a thing where the Cardassians are attacking and the Enterprise comes in to help. So
I remember now. Yeah.
But basically, that's a good
idea. But I like this better because like also I can't judge this finale until I see the finale for TNG because maybe it goes well. Like oh, this one was not that one was like a high note and this one's like a medium note. I want variety, dude.
Well, part of it also was that because they wanted to connect it back to more of the themes of the pilot, the first episode, a lot of that is religious. Mm-hmm. And so they wanted to tie it back. I think it's Ira Stephen Bear who said, like, we kind of forgot that the Bajorans are a religious group of people. Like, we bring it up every once in a while, but we forget that, like, fundamentally, they're driven by their religion. So they're supposed to be a foil.
I do feel that a bit throughout the season.
Kira is pretty
right, but I think they had sort of forgotten that they were supposed to be like kind of a direct foil to the Federation, where the Federation is completely logic science driven. The Bajorans are driven by like religion and to some extent like
are they going to delineate that like more distinctly in coming episodes then?
No spoilers. No, don't.
Well, at least in this episode they kind of delineated that pretty directly.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm okay with you can be religious all you want, but when you start to support people or bomb schools and like kill people, that's where we gotta.
I think it's safe to assume that Kira did not support Winn at the end.
No, she didn't.
She had done all of those things.
But I think that, even before that, there were signs of Kira being like, well, maybe we need 2 different schools. Maybe we need, this and that. I'm like, that's not the answer. That's not the road we need to go down. It didn't seem like she was really all about becoming just becoming more integrated as she was very pro like separation and like, well, you do it your way, we do it our way, and like that's that. And
so this is actually a thing I kind of wanted to talk about. I'm glad you brought it up because this is something I had a gut reaction to this when I was younger, to this idea of the separation is a bad idea, right? Like in terms of like having a separate school for Bajorans that are religious and then a separate school for kids or for everyone else that isn't religious, right? But I remember when I was younger in college, I had a conversation with a black guy who talked about, okay, did you think that historically black colleges and universities are segregation? Or did you think that they're a safe space for black communities to thrive? And that made me think, okay.
But that's not religion, dude.
But why can't religion be that way too? Especially if it's part of their culture.
Because religion doesn't work that way.
I mean, there's lots of things about culture that aren't necessarily logical either, but
I'm not really following your argument. Can you like clarify this? Like,
okay, but then you could say there are Catholic schools, right?
Yeah.
Why can't a Catholic school exist?
They do exist.
But the premise of everyone saying in the show is that can't exist. We shouldn't do that. Kira is essentially saying, wait, why can't we have a Catholic school?
The thing is like it's what you're teaching. Like Catholic schools do have science. And
we teach everything in rural school. It's just there's also an aspect of religion. Yeah, they also teach religion.
Right.
So that's like they're not erasing science and
But I don't think that's what Kira is proposing.
I think that's what she is proposing. She literally is just like, because the whole point is that the woman that comes on board to audit the class is saying what you're teaching is directly conflicting our teachings and you just need to not teach that. Don't mention it. And she's like, well, no, that's not possible. And Kira's like, well, we'll have our school where we talk about our things and we don't talk about science. And you'll have your school where you talk about science. And that's that. It's separate. Catholic schools as they exist today include all of it.
They didn't say that verbatim. Though.
That's my point.
That's to be fair.
So I think the only one who is hardline,
but they tell you like she's very clear when she says when she requests like, hey, one solution could be you just don't talk about science at all.
That's Vedek Winn. not Kira.
Yeah.
But Kira is going along with that whole argument of like, well, we will create two different schools. Like it's under the assumption that that's what it is.
But
right?
It's an assumption by you, not an assumption by.
So you're proposing that you think Kira wants to do a school where they teach everything?
I'm not proposing. I'm just proposing the fact that that's not what they said.
I think for me, it's pretty clear that she's trying to propose, two separate schools.
I think one thing that happens throughout the course of the episode is that Kira realizes she didn't realize how fundamentalist Vedek Winn was. I think she eventually realizes.
Well, yeah, she doesn't support bombing schools. I think that's where Kira draw the line.
But I think also she said at the end of the episode, separate from that, she also goes, I admired Vedek Winn's commitment to Bajoran religion. And then I realized there's a flaw to that. And so I think she was saying, I never could get to that point. But I think what she was then, so I don't think she ever realized that Vedek Winn was this fundamentalist about it. I think it's more that Kai was like, or not Kai, not Kai Opaka. It's Kira. I think Kira was basically saying, hey, my culture is important too. I would like a school that also supports that culture. I don't think she thought it would reach the point of maybe she did, but I don't think in the text there's currently anything specifically that says she thought it would be as extreme as we won't teach science. I think she just thought, well, it would be good to have a school where Bajoran kids learn about their culture too, because right now they're being taught about it from the point of view of the Federation.
If you're basing it on modern day, like the way that education works now, and I'm judging it based on the writers are probably pulling from what we currently deal with. Yes, you do learn about religion in school and you do learn about culture in school. There's plenty of Bible is lit classes. There's plenty of learning about all the religions of the world. So that's something that's not absent from, I think what Kira was proposing, if the writers are basing it on what actually exists, is that, taking it a step further where you're having this removal of information or this teaching thereof. It's not explicitly clear, but that's the way it's not clear. It's definitely not clear, but that's the way that I took it.
I know, but you're assuming that the writers are also, this is written 10, 15 years ago.
But that exists already.
I understand, but I'm saying you are putting your thing into it as opposed to.
Yeah, because it's not clear. It's not 100% clear. Yeah. So my interpretation is that
is possible.
The writers, school as it exists already,
You're just describing religion too.
Keiko is already teaching about all the religions of the world, just not in a religious, in a religious way. They will still learn about the culture and all that of everyone. Mm-hmm. It's just now this suggestion of the second school is kind of to drop the stuff that's conflicting with Bajoran religion, which is a problem, right? So, which is a current problem, which is exactly what's happening now, right? So,
what if instead Kira offered up that solution without much conviction? I'm rewatching the last scene a bit, or where she talks to Cisco, and it's her who calls it a wormhole herself. And Cisco has to correct her and say, that's a celestial temple you're talking about.
Right.
Yeah.
And she's like, I envied Vedek Winn because she was a true believer.
Right.
Although I'm not even sure I believe that.
Well, I think she thought she was a true believer. That's the thing. I think Cisco's last line talking about Vedek Winn is actually wrong, because she says, maybe you are, to her, right? You are as true a believer. But I don't think Vedek Winn is a true believer. I think she's very good at manipulating her religion for political benefit.
Right.
But I don't.
What she's doing.
Clearly she's a terrorist,
Yeah.
Right. And I think that's kind of where that goes. It's Kira is not, I guess she's not understanding in that moment how phony Winn is.
Yeah.
Or maybe she saw a bit of who Vedek Winn really is, which is shook her faith in the faith she had.
Yeah, I think that's what's going on. I think she thought Vedek Winn is a good person because she knows is this close to her faith. But then she realized, I don't know if that's necessarily the case. And I think her final state isn't an answer. She's in a state of confusion. And I don't think Cisco solves it either. I think it's just more that her only thing that she knows for sure is that we've made good progress these past few months. That's all I know. And whether I need to figure out what my general understanding of faith is, or etc., that hasn't been resolved yet. All I know is that what we're doing here has been good so far. So
I mean, that's clearly always going to be a character aspect of Kira, is her whole battle with her relationship with her religion. It's a theme that's come up quite a few times in multiple episodes.
Culture too, because she's also like that episode Progress, where she's like, I don't necessarily like being integrated into Federation culture, being on the other side, so to speak,
Right.
Like she really, and like, I think Cisco actually describes it really well in the episode, where he's kind of like, okay, so we can't just completely dismiss their religion. These were people that for like decades only survived because of their faith. Right. So now to suddenly say that's bullshit, don't think about it anymore, like it's not going to work, whether you think of it or not. So it needs to be more of like a general reintegration of the way the culture works. It'll help that you'll have like leaders like that other, I always forget his name, that other Vedek, that guy. Bareil, yeah. Guys like him will help figure things out more calmly. But in every culture, because of the extremity of the things they went through, you're going to get some fundamentalists, And I think that is the problem they're trying to resolve, because at least all parties have realized that the fundamentalism is a problem, and it's not going to be helpful. But, I think that's partly why I give it a 9, is that like, I think the timing of it is unfortunate, and as a result, it can't explore some of the things I think are more important to explore. But what's there, I think it's buoyed by really good writing and performances, and the fact that it's kind of like an interesting topic, and they're diving deep into it, and there are people who are despicable, but there are also people who are trying to make a good thing work, and I like that. Yeah.
It's nice and messy.
Yeah.
Well, we'll see where it takes us.
I guess I never gave it a proper score myself.
Yeah.
I am willing to give this episode 7.5 for me.
Oh, okay. All right.
But one thing that I wanted to bring up was the moment when all the Bajoran kids leave the school and the only kids left are like Jake and some others. Yeah. I wanted one of them to be Nog.
Oh yeah. Is Nog still at this point taken out of school and are not allowed to go anymore?
I don't think he appears anywhere in this episode. I'm not sure.
He might not be allowed to.
Oh, I thought for a second he was in the original the opening class.
Oh, was he? Oh,
maybe I'm wrong. I might be wrong.
No, I don't see him. Yeah.
Okay, never mind. Just, then you might be right. He might just be like not in class right now.
No, not right now. The continuity of it is that his dad took him out of school.
Well, that's what I mean. I'm remembering that part, and I'm acknowledging that you remember that correctly.
Yeah, and so Jake has been tutoring him. So that's Well, if we're going to Discord, so I imagine Nathan hasn't done an analysis in the poll yet at the time of recording, but the winning score is 8. So we will give it an 8.
Okay.
Yeah.
That seems about right.
That's a DS9 finale in the hands of the prophets. So the question I wanted to ask you guys preemptively, which is why it has to have it prepared. What is your favorite episode of the season? Ricardo inexplicably says it's the one with Loxana.
It's the only one he can remember. That's not inexplicably. That's very clear why.
It's inexplicable. What about you, Dan and Sarah? What do you guys think?
What's the episode where we debated the nature of Jadzia Dax?
Oh my gosh, that's what I want. That's my favorite, Dan. You stole it too. It's the Dax episode.
Well, what I like about it is that, courtroom dramas are, I dig those. And also Odo got to be
Dax,
Batman on the side.
It was just called Dax. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's also mine. I was going to say, because like you get to learn a lot more about Dax, and then
it's not frustrating what you learn either.
And I love that Cisco is like a ride or die for Dax. You know what I mean? He's just like, fuck, if it means we're gonna fucking lie, we're gonna fucking lie, we're gonna fucking cheat, we're gonna fucking get you fucking out of here. He's like, it's just like, he really goes hard for Dax and the relationship that he has with Dax or Curzon,
Mm-hmm. I think it's pronounced croissant.
I think it's pronounced croissant.
So that was one of my favorites too, because it's such an interesting, the idea of the worm and having like, it begs a very interesting question. Like, are you responsible for, are you two separate people? Are you a whole completely new entity? Can you be responsible for your crimes in the past? It's just,
which interestingly in that episode they didn't figure out.
No, they didn't. But it's interesting to think about.
I stick by my solution, which is as soon as you're convicted of like a heinous crime, you're not allowed any more transfers.
Oh, you're just stuck in forever there.
Yeah.
I would say my favorite episode is actually the pilot. Emissary, the first episode.
I think I remember, I think you kind of telegraphed this in a previous episode.
No, I talked about this in the Discord, so you may have read it there.
Okay, well, you telegraphed it somewhere. Yeah, I know you very well.
I think because it's an extremely good pilot. It's some of the most exciting stuff in the season. All happens in that pilot.
You're cheating. You're choosing 2 episodes at once.
And also, it's really good character work. You get to know all of the characters really well, really quickly, and it's like really well designed.
Yeah, like I really felt I knew who Picard was in just like one scene.
And then that climax at the end is really awesome. Like where like Sisko's missing, so Kira has to take control, and then like the way she commands would be completely different because she's doing it from a scrappy like guerrilla fighting style mentality of like faking it till you make it type of thing. It's like interesting. And then then you have the whole. It's funny because in retrospect, I rewatched the scenes about what's it called, the baseball, where he's doing the baseball metaphor, and he's like super happy he's doing a baseball metaphor, and part of me now reinterprets that scene as like, oh, Sisko is just relieved that he has something he knows about to talk to them about.
I can see that.
So I'm like, I think it's kind of cute actually now. So I really like that episode, and this starts with Wolf 359, which is really intense and cool. It's a great opening. And it's really interesting to have like 2 like command leaders meeting each other, and like one of them absolutely hates the other.
That was really interesting.
Yeah, it's like a really interesting character dynamic they set up right away at the beginning. So
it's also interesting for the fact that it doesn't play out how you would immediately expect.
Yeah.
You would expect Sisko to really have it in for Picard and want to say something to him, but he just doesn't.
Yeah, he kind of holds his tongue until Picard mentions, what do I know you from, or something.
Yeah.
I guess I'll also just
Picard even dresses him down in the middle of their conversation.
Yeah, he's like, well, at the end especially, he goes like, hey, look, if you're not up to this, you just fucking quit, and I'll put in someone else who can. And then Sisko actually goes, actually, I would really like to stay. I think I could do something here. So that's neat. I guess I'll just say my favorite character so far. And this has been sort of a discovery because I didn't really have a strong sense of which character I like the most before. I think it is Kira. I've been liking her the most. And I think it primarily is because she is the only character in this season so far that has actually had character development.
Fair.
Whereas everyone else has sort of been kind of where they started from Emissary. Hasn't been really a change. Dax has like almost no change at all.
Yeah.
Like she's kind of just ever since.
It's kind of like a really low level Data.
Yeah.
Because even Data has growth,
Yeah. I mean, Data probably has the most growth out of any TNG character overall. Dax kind of is like, but I think she's
meant to serve as like the Data,
Or is Odo meant to be the Data? Or is there even meant to be a Data, If
I had to pick one, it would probably be Dax.
But Odo, I guess, is also the one who's kind of like, humans don't make sense, blah, blah, blah. Solids don't make sense the way you guys do things.
Yeah, Dax is the one who's intimately familiar with like being, quote unquote, human.
Yeah.
Like has lived life for so long at various ages that,
But they're not human. None of the Daxes were human because they were all the whatever the Krill are. Trill are.
Krill, yeah.
So far,
but it's clear that Dax has feelings that Data does not.
Yeah. So I would say Kira is currently my favorite character. What about you guys? What would you say?
I'm Odo all the way.
Oh yeah, I figured you'd be Odo all the way.
Which is another reason why I like Dax the episode, because on the side he's getting to be Batman.
Yeah, he's doing. You I think you like when Odo is the problem solver. I think that's
I love when Odo solves problems. Yes.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
I like Sisko.
Oh, okay. Interesting.
Yeah. Jake?
Which one? Yeah.
That's true.
Benjamin. Benjamin Sisko. Right. I like Jake too, honestly. I really love Jake in this last episode because he was like, this is stupid. And I was like, yeah, Jake, I can identify with how you feel right now. But I like both the Siskos, Benjamin and Jake. They're both very interesting characters. I love their dynamic together as father and son. It's such a different...
That's my favorite part of Sisko's character.
There was sweetness on screen for them. Like they're holding hands while like talking through the problem.
Yeah. And we don't see that at all in TNG. There's like no paternal love at all. It's quite the opposite. It's quite a lot of paternal hate.
Like it's so rare that it even like is a bit jarring now.
Yeah.
It's rare enough that when you see it on screen, like, it's like, oh wow, like you don't see that.
Oh, good often. Relationship between a parent and a child.
And it feels real.
We all know that, Deanna has problems with her mom. Riker has problems with his dad, and Worf has complications with his parents, and it's like it's not smooth sailing for anybody and his son. Yeah. And it's not smooth
Picard
sailing.
Hates his brother.
Yeah,
nobody likes their family.
Worf likes his Russian mom and dad.
Yeah, he likes his Russian mom and dad.
He does, but it's it's complicated because they don't understand him. Russian
mom and dad.
Yeah, Rozhenkos.
He has complications because he's Klingon and they're not, and it's
although they went out of their way to make sure he could be as Klingon as he could be. Like they made him Klingon food and all that. So
but Benjamin and Jake seem this is a good pairing. They bond over baseball, whatever the fuck, fishing. Louisiana, they're from Louisiana, right?
So, they're from New Orleans. Yeah,
New Orleans, love that. Gotta love that, of course. Yeah, so that's probably my favorite characters at the moment.
What about you, Ricardo?
I'm trying to think.
My guess is Quark.
Cracker?
Yeah.
I do like him. He's kind of a gangster dude. And I like that shit.
If you like Quark, do you like Swear Engine? Is Swear Engine
100%.
like your favorite character on Deadwood?
Yeah.
Then that's Quark essentially. Quark is Swear Engine light.
Otto and the Quacker.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, and that's another aspect of Otto that I enjoy. Like I enjoy his rivalry with Quark.
Yeah, there's a lot of like good. Yeah, there's a lot of like good like built-in relationships in the show. Like you have Sisko Dax, you have Sisko Jake, you have Quark Odo, you have Odo Kira. Bashir's kind of just the odd guy out. You have Miles in general, but Miles just gets along with everyone well, so that works out.
But not Miles and Keiko. That's not a good pair.
No, but not Miles and Keiko. That's the funny part. Yeah,
yeah.
Miles
when
and
they're
Keiko
together, it's kind of like, when is this scene over?
That's the thing. They also just don't have any on-screen chemistry at all. Like,
and it doesn't build either. I'm not getting it anymore over time.
Yeah, like she's great in this episode in general, but that's opening scene when she's with Miles, it's so awkward. Like they don't really like each other.
They don't feel like a couple at all.
Yeah, they really don't. But yeah, okay. Well, that was our discussion and really, really quick season overview of DS9 in the hands of the prophets. Well, thanks for listening, everybody. If you liked it, you can give us a like or a comment or a rating or wherever you are. You know the deal by now. And also, you can check out our merch store. Go to fugitiveframes.store. We got t-shirts and a hoodie for sale. Soon to be other things. I'll finally get on that. And also, if you guys want to get early access to new episodes and stuff like that, check out our Patreon and YouTube membership. Both of them get you early access to new episodes, usually a week in advance. They also get you access to the private Discord and a few other perks, like your name in the ticker, random things like that. The difference between the Patreon and the YouTube membership, basically, if you prefer audio only as your podcast and you want a dedicated RSS feed that you can put in any like podcast app, go for the Patreon. But if you like the video and you want the video ahead of time as well, that's the YouTube membership. So Patreon, audio only, YouTube, also with video. But also, if you guys ever want to send us an email, you can always email us at contact@newbiestartrek.com. That's contact@newbiestartrek.com. This week's email is from, I'll say Rob. They didn't sign their email, but that's just what it says. And it's basically just a clarification on computer voices. It's a subject line, a note on computer voices, because we were think we were wondering about it. So they go.
So Rob is writing about computer voices?
Yeah. So thought I'd drop you a minor clarification on the computer voices of Star Trek. So Majel Barrett is the voice of the Federation computers. She started as the Enterprise voice, and now on DS9, she's the voice of the computer on the runabouts, since those are Federation tech. She will also go on to be the computer voice on Voyager, and was the computer in the first J.J. Abrams Trek movie, though she passed away soon after she recorded her dialogue. Oh. This is not part of the email. There's a fun fact. She actually recorded every phoneme possible in the English language in multiple different ways so that they could reconstruct her voice later on to do computer dialogue. Because she was like, I always want to be the computer. So they have that recorded somewhere.
So she was the first Darth Vader.
She was the first James Earl Jones, yes.
That is fascinating.
Hurling slurs in Fortnite. Majel Barrett.
One day, they're going to run out of characters, so you'll have obscure, weird characters like Loxana Troy added to
that'd be so good. Fortnite. Loxana Troy with a rifle.
Yeah.
Building a huge tower.
That's always the joke of a Fortnite, though. It's this character with gun. Yeah.
But it's always funny.
Yeah, it's always funny.
Ryu with a Gatling gun is funny.
Yeah, it's true. They know.
It's so funny.
They know that's why they do it, you know? Darth Vader with the gun. You know,
like Naruto doing hand seals and then pulling out the gun is so good.
Gun jutsu, you know. However, since the DS9 station is originally Cardassian, it has its own computer voice, played by voice actor Judy Durand. Bit of trivia: she redubbed the dialogue and singing of the four-handed piano player in the Next Gen episode Reunification. So if you don't remember, that's the Coke alien, the alien that was missing the nose.
Yeah, I remember her.
She could play piano. She can also be heard making announcements in the afterlife of the first Beetlejuice movie.
Wow.
So that's
very detailed.
Yeah. Thanks, Rob.
Thank you, Rob.
Yeah.
Love Gyromite, by the way.
And thank you guys for listening. If you guys want to check us out, you can always go to fugitiveframes.com. We have links to all of the other random things we do, including the Would You Stay Tuned podcast. Next episode, we're going to be discussing TNG's season finale, which, as you might expect from TNG by now, is a two-parter. So
so I was kind of under the assumption that this was also a two-parter, and it was kind of surprised to me that it wasn't.
Yeah, they intentionally decided to not do it. Apparently, Michael Piller was at it's becoming a gimmick. Yeah. Except he was willing to do it as a gimmick in TNG still.
They're allowed. Right. They have it established. It's okay, I guess.
Yeah. So
we shall see.
The episode is called Descent, not The Descent, which is the horror movie, but Descent. So.
The horror movie that copied Final Destination.
We're gonna check out this. We're gonna check out Descent. All right. See you guys next week, everybody. Goodbye.
Later, y'all.
Bye.
Take care.
Buongiorno.